Targeting
that.
server.
Target
Hello.
server. Hello, chat room.
Hello, chat room.
There is a chat room on the other side of here. It might be a little scary.
Ladies. Yeah.
Ladies, how are you? This is Mark Hoden saying hello.
Merry Christmas.
And
And there's a cat in here, too.
there's a cat in there too.
Yeah.
I can see the
Yeah.
fan blades going behind you too.
Yeah. Very slowly.
It's like the
I
slow
thought I turned
fan
them
blade.
off. They don't stop before we start recording. I'm gonna have to get up and move them.
That's
Hey, there's
okay.
Pixie.
Hi, Pixie.
Pixie.
Hi, Pix. Cat butt.
The window's open, so she's windows open, so she's kind of sniffing at the screen.
Christmas came and threw up on Mark Honan's bedroom.
It sure did. 'Tis the season.
Hi, guys. We are so glad to be back. It is, yes, this is a good thing. And I apologize in advance for any coughing. My voice is back, but it may not last for 2 hours. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how we do, but we're here and ready to rock. We've got so much to talk about, too. Holy crap.
You're right. I do have a lot of talking on the back end. I read through it earlier.
Yeah,
so.
I know. So I gave Mark Conan a lot of the reading at the end because I have a feeling that my voice is just not going to hold out for 2 hours of, show plus pre-show.
Yeah, we don't. Tauren Think Tank is a proud member of the Signals Media All-Star Network.
Yeah. And with the cough, I mean, the coughing has. I'm on lots of cold medicine right now, so hopefully that will take care of things. But let's see. We'll see how it goes. But
I just got an email that we are now live.
really,
Yeah.
what?
I'm still subscribed to the show on
I
my
am too.
personal channel, so I get it every week.
I can tweet the deets too. Look at that.
Oh yeah,
We
That-
are
that thing.
live. Twitch.tv/Tauren Think Tank. Boom. It's done.
Turin Tink Tank.
Turen Think Tinks.
Turin Tink Tank. So I finally, through the power of eBay, I collected all of those stupid little pins
Oh my
from
gosh.
BlizzCon. Not all the gold ones though, just the little
The colored
ones.
ones.
Yeah, I was only missing 2, and so I bought the 2 I needed, and then like the little colored murky that I didn't have that they ran out of. So I can now. I'm gonna like take this. You can hear it jingling and everything.
Yeah, that's like Christmas bells right there.
Yeah, there you go.
Merry Christmas.
They hear those BlizzCons jingling. Going.
Come on, it's lovely. Yeah, no. Nate just called you
Oh.
a pin casual.
Pin casual.
Seriously?
Oh, come on. I'm sorry. I didn't have enough time to go collecting all the gold ones too. So I figured I'd just be nice because when you look at them, I like the look of all the colors together. It's very colorful and it's very stimulating to the eyes. You get this boring old gold color through all of it. It just whitewashes it. It just washes out. You don't see any detail. You really.
That's how I felt about it too. It was like,
I mean,
the
look at
colors were
that
cool.
Tyrael.
I
The Tyrael
know.
is beautiful. I love Tyrael.
Do you have
And
okay?
Sylvanas.
Do you have Illidan on there?
I do. Illidan is here. He is.
Because I have
Oh
the
my
Illidan
goodness.
on mine back here, and it's just really just blah. I mean, you have to really
Yeah.
kind of scan it to make sure that you know it's Illidan.
Yeah, the Illidan is very dark and it's kind of bland looking. I got Zeratul in mine, like when I went to BlizzCon, and Zeratul is kind of he's okay.
Yeah.
Zeratul's okay, but I was really wanting a Tyrael or something else. But I ended up getting all the colored ones, and I have the gold murky at least, so I have one gold one, but I did want the colored one as well.
I don't know where my Steelbook sticker just went, but I just fell on the
Oh
floor.
yeah, I gotta find that too. Actually, I think it's in one of my. I've got my BlizzCon swag bags still over here, along my stuff.
It just fell down the side. I'll have to go look for it later. But
Yeah.
yeah. But I'll show off my mug. There's my mug. See, it's my Steerbucks coffee mug. Yes, That's what it looks like.
That's awesome.
I know. I think there might be one on the way to you.
I would like that. I would have many delicious beverages from it.
I know. It's quite fun.
And it would be like product placement. I'd bring it up. I'd bring it up slowly and hold it and then take a drink.
You'd be like,
It's like in Wayne's World when he holds up the Pepsi can and the Pizza Hut pizza. Yeah.
oh man, Wade's World. That's taking me back. That
Oh,
movie,
man, didn't it?
man.
Like
I
whenever
used to
whenever
work at a video store when I was in high school. And during the time where I was working in the video store was when that movie came out, the original first Wayne's World. And I remember going, I went there. I went to see it in the movies with one of my coworkers who was also in high school with me. And it was just funny. It was funny that we, thinking about it in high school, going to see that. Are we not balanced? I'll fix the sound balance. Hang on a second.
Oh yeah.
Audio
Yeah,
settings.
we got to get back to the balancing.
Uh-huh. Check. 1, 2. Check 1, 2.
Check. Sibilance.
I think that's better.
Talking about Wayne's World, and whenever somebody does a check, mic check, I have to do the sibilance
Yes.
thing for that. Is that the second one that he does that? I think it's the second one. But...
Yeah, that whole like Wayne Stock thing.
Yeah, Wayne Stock. Yeah, that was the second one.
Mm-hmm.
Was that? I think that was that Chris Farley who did that line? Like he was one of the one of the setup guys on the stage. I think
He was one of the roadies.
He was roadies. Yeah, that's what it
he
was.
was one of the roadies, and he was pretty like spastic roadie. So
Yeah, it was Chris Farley. So.
yes. Oh man.
Oh man, yeah. I've been at work. I listen to a lot of stand-up comedy sometimes on Pandora, and I have Pablo Francisco is one of the guys who does a lot of impersonations and character voices, and so I have his station. But occasionally it'll go to Frank Caliendo, who he was on Mad TV.
Yes,
Here's a guy who does the John Madden really well, and he also does a really good Chris Farley. And he was doing like there's one skit where he does so many different ones in a row. It was just great.
Frank Caliendo has, I think that is the man with endless voices.
Mm-hmm.
If you haven't heard of him, go on YouTube and look him up. He's amazing. And people who can impersonate voices like that, I'm in awe. Like, even just watching Kevin Spacey do like Christopher Walken.
Yeah, he does
He's
a good
so
Walken.
good at that. And then that it's a skill. It's a skill to be able to, like, you do this when you are able to mimic the sound of Chief Fulgen or the sound of a gnome or something that you've heard. And my brain struggles with it. I can't replicate what I hear in my head to actually come out of my mouth. It's really funny. It's just like my brain goes whoop, and it just goes, nope, you can't do it.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Oh,
I laugh because it's a cool talent to have.
Oh, it really is, and I'm thankful that I'm able to do it, and that I've kind of got because I started doing it when I was really little. Every time my stepbrothers would play an RPG, back then in the Super Nintendo days, RPGs just had text and that was it. And so I would do different voices for each character, like in Final Fantasy VII. That was one of them I remember. Chrono Trigger. I would just, I wasn't playing any of the games or anything because I didn't really do many RPGs. I was more action racing, RTS back then.
Yeah.
And so I would just do that. So. Oh yes, Natani. He gave us a few lessons in Aussie. he said more Hugh Jackman, less Steve Irwin. So
yes,
I've got to listen to more Hugh Jackman.
We needed to spend more time next to Moo for a while, just to be able to absorb that sound. A couple of hours here and there was great, but it just didn't do the trick. It was like it didn't retain. But as Rose says, we'll always have Masha. Yeah.
There'll always be Masha.
Masha, yeah. I need to go back to New Jersey and see if I can get another one of those. The last time we got kind of an okay one, but it wasn't a Marsha story. So.
Can you see the cat?
Where is she?
She's perched
on
top of the luggage.
She's on top of the luggage.
Pixie. Come here.
Oh, hi, Pixie.
Come here, sweetie.
What a good girl. I love that cat. She's so cool.
She is.
She's gonna show up in every video we have. You watch.
Yeah, she's just gonna be somewhere. I thought about bringing Reese in there, but then she'd just be this black swatch just right here.
Well, you'd have like the cat on the shoulder thing.
Yeah, she just likes to cuddle with her head on my shoulder.
Oh, so cute.
Yeah.
She's the queen of the luggage.
Yes, I'm gonna fix because it kind of fell over.
Yeah, go ahead, take care of it. No problem. No
and
problem.
I can take my. Don't have to take my headphones off. I can just take it with me.
See, now that's how you're supposed to do this. You unplug yourself. Getting the headphones on over the head and the headset. Yeah. See, that's how you're supposed to do it.
Yep.
All right. Well, it is 9:00, 9:04.
Yeah.
And I am ready. Are you ready?
I am ready. I'm not going to wear the hat for the whole thing because it's starting to get a little warm under here.
Yeah,
so I will be taking it off moment and after we do the
beginning
intro of the show.
Cool.
After I get to go full Clark Griswold on everybody for a couple minutes.
Cool. And are you guys ready in the chat room? Are you ready for this show?
Ladies and gentlemen, the chat room. Are you ready to see it? Episode 124 of Tauren Think Tank.
Listening to you and Zug do that last night dueling was really funny. We'll have to tell that story too.
That was funny.
That
and then
was
I got
really
Hydraxian Waterlords wrong. I was like, we're in an expansion called Warlords, ladies and gentlemen. It's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen.
Plus, I said it so many times during the parody song.
I know you're in Warlord mode. It's not Waterlords. Yeah.
But luckily, I don't have to worry about it anymore because I have all the pets from there. I have the rep. I have all the transmog that I need. So
you're like, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm
done. Later.
Done.
I do want the pet and the transmog thing, but I may have to just buy the pet because I wasn't lucky enough to get it when it dropped this way.
Yeah. So there's that.
There is that. All right, Ro. I'm gonna go 85% Griswold.
85.
85.
Right.
Yeah. That means I won't be falling off ladders or. I will tell people to bend over and I'll show you when I say we're going to fit a tree that big because that's my favorite line from the movie. How dare you talk to him that way? I wasn't talking to him. I was talking to you.
Oh, my laugh makes me sound like a 5-pack-a-day smoker. Okay.
It's okay, honey.
It's
we'll
okay.
get through this one way or another.
That's right. All right, ready check is clear. Everybody's ready. So we are going to go, if I could have my right place in here, in 3, 2, 1.
You're listening to Tauren Think Tank, the World of Warcraft podcast for you, the World of Warcraft player.
Welcome to episode 124 of Tauren Think Tank. We are back. We are pseudo-well, and we're really happy to be back because it was a really long time since our last show. My name is Jules. I am here with the talented, the Christmassy, the pseudo-Griswoldy Marconin. Hi.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's so good to be back. 2 weeks was far too long to not talk to you.
It was way too long, dude. Like, seriously.
Yes, it really was.
It sucks to miss a show in general, real life and all that stuff, but it sucks even more when you're sick and you're just like, I did not ask for this. I did not ask to be sick. I have too much to do and I do not want to do this. But last weekend I was sick. I had no voice. I had a cough that, was rattling the rafters. And so there was no way I was going to be able to talk through, hour and a half, 2 hours of show. And I'm just reluctantly texting Marconin going, I don't think I can do this. It sucks, man. I hate being sick. I hate it.
Well, we'd rather you be better.
Well,
than
I am.
So you are.
I'm getting there. A little bit of a nasally thing. This was a rough one. I didn't think that it was going to hit me this hard, and it totally did. And so I apologize in advance for the coughing. That will happen at some point during the show, probably when you make me laugh.
Probably.
But
which I will try to do a lot.
Okay, great. Yay. So enough about this stupid illness. How are you, and what have you been up to in the last 2 weeks?
I dung 100. I dung 100.
You dug 100, yay!
I dug 100. Yes.
Hey, guess what? Me too. Yay!
We dung 100.
Yes. I just have to say thank you to everybody who sent us tweets throughout the week and the last 2 weeks to say, I dung, 96, I dung 97, and just pictures and awesome. Like the silliness of a pre-show goof turns into an actual meme is just the best. So
yep. And what's even better is you'll get it again in the next expansion. I bet about one or two of us may remember that.
Maybe.
So. Yeah.
There's people in the chat room saying they dung 100 too. So
yep. Maslu did.
Yep. And there's so much. Tatani says there's so much dung. There is a lot of dung, man. There's a lot of people hitting that dung button. But it's been, it was so much fun to get to the top level, but then know that there was so much more that could be done, which is always the case in WoW. But I don't know. This was the first time that I hit 100 and I just kept going and questing.
Yeah, me too.
It's
definitely.
So I don't know if you're like me, but like in every other expansion, it's like, can I just get to 100? Can I get to top level? And when I get to top level, okay, screw everything else. I'm gonna go and run heroics and get ready for raid. That's how it was always like that for me.
Mm-hmm.
And this time around, I was just like, no, I want to see where the story goes. Who am I?
I felt the same way. I wanted to, once I hit 100 in Negron because I wanted to try and get through that. I wanted to get to the ending cinematic because I know what happens. I knew what happened. I had an idea of what was going to happen, and I wanted to see it. I didn't want any more spoilers, and I wanted to get to it. So, and you're right. This is the first expansion where I've really cared about the story primarily, other than just getting to, because there's no real. To me, the way they gated it makes it to where you don't have to rush to 100. Yeah. Even if you want to be raid ready on Tuesday is when the raids open up for normal. So there wasn't this huge rush to get there and got to do this, got to do that. It really, I think it was the way they told the story and the fact that you are a primary part of the story this time. And it's not just like, heroes, kill this boss. It's like, Commander, we need your help. The nuclear vessels, where are they?
Commander Butt Munch, where are you?
Where are you? We need your help in Talador. Telari Station, we might fall. And so, all of this, even like when you upgrade your garrison, I remember that when you upgrade from level 2 to 3, the little cinematic they play, it starts with Varian going, Commander, we have really relied on your forces. And all of a sudden, like, wow, Rin's talking to me.
Yeah.
He's not talking to a generic hero, a generic person, NPC in the game. So you really feel more important. And so that's what really drew me to really engage the story head on and complete it, because I knew, and this is a good thing about what they did with this is in Mists, they put in those little cutscenes, and then with Warlords, they have huge storytelling moments, huge events in the game that happen during those cinematics. Yeah. It's kind of a way to, it's a way to incorporate those big moments in a very just entertaining way, and to where you're not just clicking on a button, you're not just looting a corpse, and then the event happens. You are watching it, like sitting back with your popcorn. I'm ready for the Warcraft movie because I'm seeing these things.
I know.
So I'm ready to see it, and the moments like at the Battle for Shatrath Harbor, and the one I told you about when you saw it. And at the end of Shadow Moon Valley, and I haven't run my Horde characters through yet, but my Troll Mage is almost through the Tenan Jungle, so I'll get some of that stuff. But to see those moments, and this is a real big a nod to Taryn Gregory and the rest of the cinematics team, is they're doing fantastic work. And the tools that they have now to make really custom animations for all the characters and everything, it's just really cool stuff. And it makes it puts you so much more in the middle of the action with that, and the storytelling and the way that the quests are put out. Is you just feel so. I feel really connected in this to my character and to the story in this expansion, more so than in any other expansion. So I want to complete it, and so I hit 100, and I just kept going. One, because I know I needed the gear towards the end of Negron, but primarily because I wanted to see that ending cinematic, because I knew there was something. I knew it was going to keep on going, and so I still have to finish Spires of Iraq because I haven't finished that, but I'm getting there. And I'm
Yay!
every day hitting my garrison. But yeah, it's
So
awesome.
the one thing I will say in this, and that I would, in the last couple of expansions, it certainly was beneficial. But if you're into the story as much as we are, I really, truly recommend, if you have the time, to do it on the Horde side or the Alliance side, the opposite faction of the one that you are in. Because it's a completely different side to the story to see it from the perspective of where you are. Like, so if you go, like, we went through the Alliance side first, and you get the whole Draenei perspective. And if you go through the Horde side, I'm just kind of working my way through the first area in Frostfire Ridge, and you are hearing it from Duratan and Draka's story. And it's a very different side of things. So, and I would say, I know there are people who are kind of, they're faction loyalists. It's never going to happen. But if you like the story, it is definitely worth it. So just that.
And
part.
if you haven't used your 90 boost, just boost a Horde character and
Seriously,
or boost an Alliance character. That way you don't have to worry about 1 through 90. Just they're like, because see, I still haven't used my boost yet. I'm still on the fence of what I'm going to use mine for. But if you haven't used yours, go ahead and cross the faction lines just this once. Put it on another server where your friends won't see it. That kind of thing. Just go.
Yeah.
Give it a shot, because the storytelling is what's the best about it.
Yeah. So we had some time off for the weekend, for the holiday weekend. Happy Thanksgiving, by the way. And one of the things that we decided to do, Marconan and I asked our Convert to Raid event planners if we would put together a Molten Core run for people to join up and have it be an entire guild run, which was awesome. We did this last night. So we get in there. It's almost all 40 people are from Convert to Raid. It was really cool. We had one couple people who brought friends in, and they were from different servers. So we wound up going through. We're kicking butt. We're getting it all taken care of, and then we start to lag out, and people start to disconnect.
A lot of running in place,
and we're starting to look on Twitter, and there's all this news about there's DDoS attacks, and we're like, oh my god. So as we are starting to get back into the game after we all got disconnected, we realized that all of us we got put back into where we were before, most of us in our garrison. We had been in the trash leading up to Ragnaros, which is the final boss.
Yeah.
And so we'd been in there for an hour and 45 minutes, clearing through everything. You don't get any loot. You just get gold. If you're killing these bosses, you're waiting to get to Ragnaros. So that's what you're going to do. So we are all just like, oh my God, are you kidding me? We just lost everything. And well, somebody was like the smartest human being on earth and said, you know what? My friend is on a different server that we brought in, and she didn't get logged out.
Yeah.
We actually managed to get invited back into the lockout raid we were in. All of us, for the most part. There were just a couple people who had to leave early. And we managed to get back in and kill Ragnaros before everything just went to hell. So, I mean, shout out to everybody who went on that run last night. We were like,
oh yeah,
that was perseverance, man.
It was. We really pulled that one out, and just it was very frustrating because people were linking like websites that track security stuff, and you'd see all these pings from China just cascade across the planet, boom, and just hit us. And I'm like, why? Come on, just let us finish. I mean, it kind of did make the defeat of Ragnaros that much more sweeter and more enjoyable when we finally killed it, but it was frustrating.
It was so frustrating.
For
we
the
were
longest
so angry.
time.
It was like, no, you can't do this. But we wound up, because if we hadn't been able to get back into that one person's instance, we would have all been reset, and we would have had to start all over again. And it would have been, nobody would have wanted to do that. So it was like, no way. That was awesome. And so when you finish Molten Core, you get the Core Hound mount. And you get a helm as well, and there are some chances for some pets.
Oh, you don't say.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Because I guess
that?
something popped into my bag when I looted the boss.
It did.
And I'm like, oh my God, I got the pet. And everyone's like, oh, damn it, Jules.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw the chat box. It was like, loot the helm, pet, helm, and that was it.
I know.
Like,
So I
man.
was pretty excited. I got the hateful spark pet, which is like a little it looks like a little fire lord with armor on it. So very cool. So so yeah, the molten core run, we had that, and we have been, I mean, I know we've all been busy. I've been just playing alts and getting things in the garrison. The basics of it though is that every time I want to do something for fun, it's been World of Warcraft, and that hasn't been happening for a long time, and it's been really, really nice to want to play again.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Every day I get on and my garrison's like, "Hey guy, here's a bunch of herbs. Here's a bunch of mining nodes. Oh, here's some stables quests, which I'm working on getting all 6 of the mounts that you get from the stables.
Yep.
Every day doing my dailies because I have to have them. There's 8 that you can get because once you get the 6, there's little, once you upgrade to like a level 3 stables, you can put little items in your bags that make the fights harder, that like reduce your health, reduce your damage, reduce your movement speed. And if you kill all of those daily bosses with those items equipped, you get 2 more mounts.
Oh wow!
A razorback and you get a razorback and a wolf. So it's I'm only 7. I'm 7 mounts away from my Fellfire Hawk. So
Wow.
I really need to get on that.
Good Lord, man.
Yeah.
I don't know how you do it. And I know that you're a completist. It's just the mount thing that's a hunt.
It is. It really is. Especially when you're doing like the world. Oh man. I sat in a group Friday night for 6 hours to get the Garn Night Howl mount. For those of you that don't know, it's a 100% guaranteed drop off of Garrosh. It's a wolf, a rare world boss kind of thing in Frostfire Ridge, and so what people will do is you'll queue up for the group, and they have a running list, and whoever's first on the list will get them out, and you get put in the list based on when you join. And so I was at the bottom of the list starting out of like 15 people. Thing respawns every 10 to 15 minutes, and we were just trucking through, trying to kill it, and then some jerks joined in and ninja'd them out, because what we did was what people are doing is like only the top 5 people in the list can actually roll greed. He's like, everybody else pass. If you greed, you're automatically out. Like you get kicked out. But that guy that greeted, we didn't kick him quick enough, and he took them out ninja and left. And so that kind of like half the people left then. And so I was there till past 2 a.m, from 8 o'clock at night to 2 a.m, waiting to get my stupid wolf.
So wait a
And I
second.
got
So
it.
it's like a raid group of people that's doing this, and
Yeah, the dude
someone's
one-shot
maintaining
you.
this list.
I was maintaining the list. Yeah. Well, somebody else was for the first 3 hours, and then they got them out, and they stayed for. Well, what's cool is that a couple people they stayed for a little while. I can't remember their names. They were on the Hydraxis server, and they were really nice because they stayed until I got my mount. And they're like, "All right, dude, since you were cool, we're staying for you, and then we're heading out because it's late." And I was like, "Understandable." And finally, we got it, and it was good. But yeah, there's no point in bringing any healers because the dude one shot you. It just boom, 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 and so you just bring him up close to where the graveyard is, so you can run back pretty quick.
Wow!
Time warp, army of death, everything just go.
And every
GPS
10 to 15 minutes is when he comes up.
Mm-hmm. And he's surrounded by like 4 other sleeping wolves. It's like a wolf's den, and they're like encircling her or him or her, and you have to like CC them or tame them, and it kind of gets rid of the ads. And so it was a big to do, but. I've been walking around. I've been running around on that thing ever since I got it. So
wow, I see. These are the things I don't even know about. I don't pay attention to the things that drop the rare stuff. So I like the way they've done the world bosses as far as rarity of the mounts, because all of them drop like 100% of the time. Mm-hmm. And even like Pound Fist. If you see people walking around on those Gronlings, those big kind of ogres, yeah,
that's because they were part of the Pound Fist kill yesterday.
Yep.
And so it's really cool.
That is
really
crazy.
cool the way they do this.
I know there's a ton of them out there, Pound Fist, and there's other ones. I am too lazy and I don't care. So it's like I don't want to sit around and camp a spawn to go and find it. So
well, they dangled that Fellfire Hawk in front of my face, and they're like, "Hey, Markonnen, You only need 7 more mounts to get this bad boy. Really show off your stuff. Why don't you just work on those mounts a little bit, huh? You go ahead, buddy? All right.
All right.
No more sleep for you. But yeah, that's about all I've been doing, other than eating a lot on Thanksgiving. Not a lot, not too much, but eating enough on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And having cheesecake every once in a while. Like when the servers go down and you have a 10-minute break before we were able to get back in the Molten Core run, I needed a cheesecake break.
Cheesecake run. There you go. Well, obviously we've been busy in WoW, but we've also been busy outside of the game. And Marconan and I are pretty excited by something that we wanted to announce this evening. We've been working on this. We've been working on this for a while, and it's finally here and it's finally ready. And it's actually a little bit nerve-wracking, to be honest, because so we've been doing this show for 2.5 years. And in the last probably 3 months or so, I've been getting a lot of requests from people on how they can help the show. And we have been very lucky to have had people who have been very generous and have donated to the show. And people who have been like sending us emails and finding us in game and asking us, do you guys have a Patreon page? And I have never really considered doing it until recently. And with the changes in the show and Marconan coming in, we have so many ideas of things that we want to do. And so I am nervously excited to announce that we are launching a Patreon page, and it is patreon.com/TaurenThinkTank. Now, if you're not familiar with Patreon, it is a site where it is similar to Kickstarter in the way that you can donate to a content creator or creators and help them fund the shows or things that they are working on. And in return, those content creators can give you things back. So we are really excited by some of the things that we are planning to do, because we've got goals, we've got plans, and we've got things we want to do. So, but at the same time, the show is always going to be something that is here as, it is always going to be free. It's never going to be a paid type of thing, but we want to do some more stuff. There's some things that we want to do. One of them is to create a database of all of the questions that we have ever answered on the show, a searchable database, so that people can go in and find answers of things that we've done in the past. We've been asked about that many times, and it's expensive to do it. So with this kind of thing, we could. So if you want to check it out, it's patreon.com/TaurenThinkTank. It helps us out because there are things that we have to take care of with the show and keep it going. But we've got some really cool things to offer back to our patrons. First of all, we will have a spot on our site for all of our patrons to say thank you. We are also going to be creating content specifically for patrons. Marconan, you have like a bazillion ideas in that head of yours.
I have a lot of work to do, yes.
And so there are a lot of things that we want to do. So every month for some of our patrons, we will be giving some content that is exclusively for them. We are also working on some keychains and necklaces for people. You can check those out. We're working on things with that with Nevermore, who's amazing.
Yes.
And one of our big goals on doing this show is for all of the people who really enjoyed the time that Sharku was on the show, when he was auditioning for the Tauren Think Tank spot, I thought it would be good if we could do something more. With Marconan and Sharku having more of a general kind of extension show. So if we're able to raise enough funds, we'll be able to do that. So that's what this Patreon is about. We thank you guys. We already have some folks that have already decided to donate, so thank you for that. And
yes,
we appreciate it. It's patreon.com/Tauren Think Tank. And like I said, it's nervously excited because this is kind of a big thing for us. So anyway, that is our big announcement for the week. And anything else that's going on in your world?
other than the stuff we talked about earlier, if anybody knows of any churches that need like a trombone for a Christmas gig, let me know because I don't have my usual one. My usual one kind of fell through this year, from what I understand. So hey, I'm always
Oh,
looking to play around
bummer.
because Christmas is about the only time during the year I get to play, other than when I randomly make songs for people. So if anybody knows of anybody could use me.
There you go. All right,
But yeah, that's about it.
let's go do a show, shall we?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
Let's kick around some ideas, not gnomes.
All right. We like this discussion topic, and it's come from a listener. Let's see if I can get through this read. Hello, Jules and Mark Honan. I enjoyed the BlizzCon update. Thank you for taking the time to do it. It was such a good podcast, even as short as it was. My question/comment. I have been playing Horde side since Burning Crusade. I've never given the story of World of Warcraft much thought in all the years of playing. I have focused on the quests for leveling, dungeons for gear, and world events for fun. What I was killing or why I was killing it never entered into my scope of awareness. However, over the last few months, I've had more time to really experience leveling alts. I made a Tauren druid. I like the race for their connection to nature. They feel graceful and proud as a race. They also feel the most peaceful, and I'm really connecting with their storyline. Even up until last week, I wanted to take them into Warlords as my new main. Sadly, that has now changed. Since I've had more time on my hands, I've been reading the World of Warcraft books. I've really found myself connecting to the world of Azeroth and remembering the various locations in-game as I read the books. I was really enjoying things until the book Wolfheart. Not to spoil the entire book for those who have not read it, let's just say the Horde is awful towards the Night Elves. The book's detailed description on how Garrosh tears through Ashenvale is leaving me shocked and appalled. Worse, as I was leveling my Tauren, I remember running these quests. I remember being in these areas helping with these horrible acts. I feel personal shame for being involved now. I didn't understand what the storyline was as I was running the quest in the area, but now I understand the full scope of what I was doing. This is where my problem is. I understand this is a game. I get the idea that I'm only playing a character in a cyber world, but I am so personally touched by these events, I don't want to play Horde anymore. I want to delete every Horde character I have or faction, change my higher level tunes, and completely walk away from the Horde. It means that I would be quitting my guild that I've been playing with since I started. Granted, most of the members are newer to the guild and those that I started with, but still, I am that hurt and upset. My logical side is telling me that I'm being silly and I'm overreacting, but my emotional side is telling me I've gone against my moral sensibility and need to atone for it. I don't know why this is so upsetting. I don't want to use the C word, but am I being ridiculous for even feeling this way? You have no idea how much I hate looking at my login screen now, with my Horde tunes looking at me. I'm totally repulsed. Why am I feeling this way? What do I do? Any insight would be greatly appreciated. Thank you from Hufmar, Corelstras, and US.
Man, oh man.
Okay, so this is somebody who has gotten a taste of the lore and not happy about how it has happened. And I can, so let me ask you first, starting this out. So have you ever changed how you feel about the factions based on the stories that you've read? I'm assuming you've read them.
Well, I'm not a lore nerd in the deepest sense. I like the lore and I'm slowly picking it up as I go. But yeah, I there are parts that I have, like, I remember this is my instance of what happened to Hufmar. I played Warcraft 3. I played the Frozen Throne. I controlled Arthas in Stratholme, killing innocent people because the grain that got sent was tainted and they were going to turn undead. I killed all those innocent people and I felt bad about it. I did. Even back then, it was like 2002, 2003. I felt bad, but I did what I had to do to get through the thing. And then when they announced in Wrath, when they brought back the Stratholme for the Caverns of Time, I was like, oh, it brought back that feeling of dread and just like, I don't want to do that. Oh, but there's a mount. Okay, I'll go through it. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
The practicality of, oh, I can get a mount out of this.
Ooh, shiny thing. Yes, dangle that carrot in front of me. I'll do it. But yeah, so that feeling that Hoofmar is having, I had that with the Culling of Stratholme, and so I can understand that feeling, and that kind of that how it felt, and that I didn't purposefully did not do the Theramore scenario on all my. I did it once on my Troll Mage just to see that side of the story because I've read Tides of War, and it made me upset.
Yep.
Like I told Patrick Seitz at BlizzCon, like the voice of Garrosh, I told him thank you for. I was like I respect you a lot because you made it so easy to hate this character.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so just to know that voice and that I just did not like him, and it made me so mad. And I didn't want any of my Horde tunes to participate in it. I did not want them to even think about being part of the team that goes and rescues the Blood Elf and helps destroy Theramore because it was such a heinous act.
Yeah.
But so yeah, that's kind of what happened to me. What about you? Did you ever and I know you're not as heavy right now into the lore as me, but
Yeah.
has there ever been an instance where you felt the same way?
Oh yeah, I mean, I've read some of the novels. I'm actually going back and I'm reading the Arthas novel right now.
I need to do that.
And I'm in, picked it up when we were coming back from BlizzCon, and so I've been reading that, in between bouts of being sick, and it's a very, what I like about it is that I'm getting a different perspective of these characters because I didn't play Warcraft 3. I didn't play, I picked up the storyline in World of Warcraft and I didn't really understand the backstory. The only thing I saw about Arthas is that he was frozen in ice, and then with Wrath of the Lich King coming out, all of a sudden he's walking. Well, I don't know his story. You hear Arthas, my son, and you hear the whole kind of talking about, I've always taught you to be noble and all this kind of thing.
Yeah.
But now reading this and you see his backstory and you understand it more, I find that I really, you hate him a little bit less, but you also hate him a little bit more for going down the path that he did. So I understand how Hoofmar could change his feeling when you actually understand the story. But what I would say to him is that this is not the only part of the Horde story.
Yeah, there's much more.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going into the whole part about how the Night Elves were persecuted by Garrosh, that's one part of it. But you also need to look at the backstory prior to that, I think, to see how the Horde actually became to pass. How did Thrall begin the new Horde? How did he start it? And why did it come to pass that way? And how did do you understand the story of how Garrosh becomes in the war chief position and his all petulant pain in the ass backstory where he was a whiny little biatch in the early parts, whining because he didn't get his way. So rather than throw away the relationships that you've made and the things that you have done without truly knowing what it is, I would say, read a little bit more. I would not feel comfortable telling you to just delete your characters, transfer your faction.
Yeah.
I mean, no, there's the one thing about these stories is that they are multifaceted. There are more than just one side of the story. You can look at Jaina Proudmoore now, and you could see how she has gotten to this point. But Jaina Proudmoore was not this vindictive, spiteful person that she is at the moment.
Yeah, there are good guys and bad guys on both the red side and the blue side.
Yeah.
And Garrosh's Horde is not the Horde, is not Thrall's Horde, and it's not going to be Vol'jin's.
It's not
Horde.
Vol'jin's Horde, yeah.
Because I always told people when they asked me what I played in WoW, and I told them Alliance, and of course back then during BC and Vanilla, they're like, "Ugh, Alliance, Care Bear, blah blah blah. You don't let real people play the Horde." I was like, "Look, I'm okay with the Horde. I respect the Tauren because they respect nature. They're actually peaceful people." And they, if I, and I told them if I ever rolled Horde, I would more than likely play a Tauren because they kind of, I agree with them on a lot of things. And if I saw Thrall and he needed my help If I was walking around my mage, my gnome, I would help him because he is a leader. He's very well respected by a lot of the key players. And so that's what I would tell Hoofmar is like, there's good sides and bad sides. There were things that I didn't want to do in Pandaria. I didn't want, like when we destroyed the Jade Serpent Temple. I was like, no, because we were all bad guys.
Yeah.
We all brought this crap to Pandaria, and it just I just did not like that. But I know I've from what I've read of Vol'jin and in the books and in the quests and everything, I do respect him as a leader. So I think in the lore, and like I said, I haven't played the Horde side, but if you feel bad about Garrosh, don't worry because he's not in power anymore. Vol'jin's in power. So when you go to Warlords, you're not going under Garrosh's lead. You're actually going to be taken care of. Well, you'll be taking care of Garrosh in a way when you get through it. But I would say go ahead and stick with it. You're going to get it. This is a history lesson kind of with Warlords. You get to learn about Duratan and Gul'dan, and you get to really take these guys out. So I would say really stick with it. Go ahead and make an alliance tune. If you want to maybe transfer one of your tunes over and kind of play both sides, that's fine.
Yeah.
But I would say don't throw out all your Horde characters just yet, because I do play both sides. And like I said, I respect a lot of the people in a lot of the leaders in the Horde, like Sunwalker Desco, for crying out loud. That dude back in Mists, he got like the worst hand dealt to him.
Yeah.
And I remember going through Krasarang Wilds with him on my troll and just thinking, this guy is something else. I like him. So I'd say just stick with it on your Horde tunes. Like I said, make it 90. Like if you haven't used your boost yet, make an alliance character or transfer one tune over. But yeah, don't throw them all away, because there's good stories to be had. There are as many good parts as there are bad parts.
Yeah. The other thing to remember too is that it's a mark of a good storyteller when they can make you feel viscerally strongly about something. And so you've read a good story that really moved you. And but that's not just the only story that is out there. And the Horde is not just one-sided, nor is the Alliance one-sided. There's some bad seeds in the Alliance, just as there are in the Horde. And they come at it from two very different perspectives. And, when you say the red side and the blue side, and you say, oh, good versus evil, it's not that simple. No. It's not. And there are things like, I have always been an Alliance player at heart, but I do play Horde as well. And I like some of the Horde portions of the nobility of and the belief of strength and all of that kind of thing that the Horde stands behind. But they visually don't appeal to me as much as the Alliance does. It's more of a visual thing. And,
yeah, I'm kind of on the same way.
And you've probably been, you've been a Horde player for the entire time you've played, which means that visually, which is about, I would say at least 50% of why we play. We pick the character we like to look at. We pick the aesthetic that we like to look at. You do Warlords of Draenor content and you see the differences between the Horde garrison and the Alliance garrison. I feel much more comfortable in the Alliance garrison because it feels like a home to my character. And I go into the Horde garrison and I'm like, this don't feel very fun. But it's cool because it's the Horde side too.
What do you mean you don't like spikes?
I don't like wooden spikes very much. And so, but there are people that do.
Just for you.
There are people that do. And so, but the reason why you're so upset is because you read a really good story that appeals to you. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying it's appealing to you. It's just that it hit a nerve. Yeah. It hit a nerve in you that you find, that you find the story attaches to you. And for someone who hasn't been a quest text reader or very excited about things, this is kind of new and it's a little bit weird and it's maybe a little uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. But I would say if you have the time, put a little bit more effort into reading a couple of more, read the War Crimes novel, which is the lead up towards Warlords of Draenor.
Yeah.
Draenor, sorry. I keep doing that. But that is going to show you both of the sides of the Alliance and the Horde as they're putting Garrosh on trial for his crimes in Pandaria. And then it leads into the situation that we are in now. So,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, I'm really enjoying the Arthas novel. It's pretty cool. I actually hadn't realized that he and Jaina had been like really a thing.
Yeah, yeah, and then when you go back and see some of the stuff from those 5-mans leading up to ICC, where she has to like hold him back, I was like, oh man, I'm sorry, Jaina.
Yeah, poor Jaina.
Sorry.
She's got her heart broken, and now she's got to like, she's got to make this monster stay back. So, but I would really be interested to see if Hufmar decides to read some more. Please don't make a hasty decision though to just transfer, delete everything, or leave your guild. I mean, if you're really happy with these folks, I would say maybe try and, like Marcona suggested, if you have your boost still, boost an Alliance character and see it from that perspective and just check it out. But don't waste all the time that you put in just because the story has changed how you feel about the game.
Yeah. I mean, I do respect your how passionate you feel about this. And I am too. I mean, believe me, Tides of War ripped me up. What happens to Theramore? I mean, the way that Christy Golden wrote it, just like I was like upset for like 3 days about it. I was mad. It's like, no, I did what, but I like Theramore. I like stupid. I hate Garrosh. It just felt very, very strongly. But the cool thing, like when we were talking about that, is that even when you do Siege of Orgrimmar, you are part of the Horde that does not agree with the Garrosh, because he was the bad apple. Don't let the one bad apple spoil the bunch, because there's a lot of good apples. Ain't that right, Chief Vol'jin?
Chief Vol'jin is in our chat room tonight, and speaking for the Horde. So,
for the Horde. Yes.
But and the storyline with Garrosh is very interesting because if you read the novel prior to it, it's I can't remember the name of it. It's the one for Cataclysm, that leads into the Shattering.
Yes. Yeah.
I read that one too, and it's Thrall's decision to go and take care of himself and learn, get more into fixing the world and dedicating himself to his shamanistic studies, because he can help heal the world, but he has to leave the war chief position to someone, and he reluctantly chooses Garrosh to do it, against the advice of many of his advisors. As it turns out, it is a decision that really costs him and the Horde. But but the thing about these stories is that it's not just a wrapped up in a nice little bow ending. These stories have the decisions have consequences. The world is damaged. It's really changing how things go. So that's what I love about this, is that there's never just like that happy ending, because there never really is an end to this story.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, that was really... we thought this was a cool question for discussion.
Yeah, it really is.
If you guys have your own thoughts and feelings about Hufmar's situation, please send them to us at questions@taurenThinkTank.com, because we would like to talk about them. So I think we'll just... we'll talk a little bit about some doghouse systems and see what we're doing there. Where's my stuff? There it is. I was like, I can't find my music. I don't know where I've been off for 2 weeks. I don't know what I'm doing. Tonight's show has been brought to you by Doghouse Systems. They are the makers of the best gaming PCs on the planet. And they are currently running their Black Friday deal, Cyber Monday deals now for like the next 3 weeks. Not only can you get the awesome computer that is a Doghouse, but you can get some extras, free shipping, which is really, really, really cool.
Yes.
It's expensive to ship a computer, guys. So that's kind of nice. You get a brand new, with the video card you get a brand new game, one of the newer games that's out there, to be able to choose from. And you also get an upgrade, 16 gigabytes of RAM. My brain. 16 gigs of RAM. I can't even talk anymore. But you know what? Doghouse rocks. We love them. They've been taking such good care of us over the 2.5 years we've been doing this show, and we appreciate everybody who goes out and tells them that Tauren Think Tank is where you heard about their product. Mark Honan, at some point, we're going to have to make sure that computer of yours gets upgraded, right?
Yes. Hopefully sooner rather than later.
Sooner rather than later. But in Marconin, I know that you want to get a doghouse because you've seen how awesome they are.
Yes, yeah, I honestly really have. Yeah, I've been made a believer.
He's a believer in all of the things. So if you go to doghousesystems.com and check out all of their systems, go to their holiday deals section and mention in the comments, if you would, that you heard about it from Tauren Think Tank. We will get credit for the holiday deal through that. And we thank them for supporting the show. We thank you for supporting our sponsor. And what the heck, we'll thank everybody. Sounds like a plan to me. All right. Let me fix this because my soundboard's everywhere. Oh my goodness. Let's do some think tanking. How about it?
I think we should.
Okay.
Yes.
Torn between options? Let Triple T help you sort it out.
I feel like I don't have any breath at all. It's just this weird feeling of like trying to breathe it in. All right, here we go. Here is our question of the week.
Yep.
Hi, I am a WoW gamer. I am disabled with many mental and physical disabilities, so I have no life. I spend most of my time on this game to get away from all of my troubles in real life, including my mother. She pretty much blames every single problem I have on WoW or some other game. Then I go to the doctor. I tell the doctor what's happening. She lies up one side and down the other. So I dive deeper in game. I was wondering what your idea could be to lessen the stress from a mother who thinks that everything in my life is a game's fault. I do have somewhat of a life. I go out with a group and do stuff around where I live, but still have every problem within my life that's the game's fault. So please, if you can, you say you have helped people. Can you please help me to lessen my stress or to understand where my mom is coming from? Thanks a bunch, from Will. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. My first question, Mark Honan.
Mm-hmm.
Since I actually don't even know this about you, when you were growing up, I'm assuming you were pretty much into video games.
Yes, I was. I didn't play many sports.
You didn't play many sports. You were into video games. Was that kind of how you spent your childhood?
Yes, pretty much exactly like that. Every weekend we'd go to the local pizza joint that also had a video arcade, and I'd play video games there. And then we go next door to the video store and rent some movies, and I'd rent some NES games or SNES games, or and then I'd play that through the weekend, and and then I'd have friends over. We'd play Nintendo and all that other stuff. So yeah, growing up, my dad did his best because he played football in high school, mm-hmm. and so he bought me a football. We'd throw it around a bit. He built a basketball goal in our carport, and I played a little basketball with him. But I really just liked video games, and then of course band took over that. So that was where my rest of my extracurricular stuff went to. But yeah, I was a pretty big gamer growing up. I enjoyed it a lot. Played it a lot too.
Was your family supportive of your gaming, or were they not?
I would say that they were fairly supportive. Now, if I lacked in my studies or in school and did bad on homework, they would take it away. Well, what they would do is even crueler. They'd take the power cord away. So they would sit there in my room staring at me with no juice.
Oh.
And of course, this is 80s and 90s. I don't have the ability to walk down to Walmart and buy another power cord.
No.
Nor do I have the money. So it was very taunting. Made me want to do better in school, though. So, yeah, other than that, I mean, heck, I remember my dad helping. My dad would play, because we had an Atari at first. And we'd sit there and play. My dad would play Atari with me. He'd play, Double Dragon. We played that on the NES together. My dad liked playing video games with me. And in fact, even in more recent years, I took Rock Band over there once to his house. And he was a drummer. He played in a rock band. And he actually opened for, who was it? Peter Frampton.
Oh, once. Wow. Very cool.
Yeah, and so he was a pretty good drummer. And he tried playing the drums, and when it got to the song that he knew, he started playing the drum part that he knew. And, of course, on those games, it doesn't really translate from the real thing into when you have to do the bars and everything.
You got to actually follow their bars or you don't score. Yeah.
Yeah. So it took him a little getting used to. But, yeah, my parents really haven't been they've been pretty supportive overall. I mean, they're not gamers, but they're cool with it.
Mm-hmm.
So long as I don't lose myself in it completely.
Yeah, and I have always had supportive parents when I was playing games like we had in the Atari 2600, we had a Commodore 64. And then that's kind of when it ended. I didn't have the Nintendo systems when we were at our house. We just never had them. But I always had a computer and I always played them. So my parents were pretty supportive. Arcane's parents, on the other hand, were not. And Arcane can talk about his experiences with his mom, just basically saying, get off of those games and get outside and play, you know, that kind of thing. And how even as an adult, he still deals with the judgment that comes from, you know, sitting in front of your computer playing a video game for an afternoon on a Saturday, you know, because it's just not something that connects to that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So for Will, there's a couple of things here that I see. You know, we of course both come from parents that were, you know, understood that these were the kinds of things that we were interested in and therefore was enjoyable. Now, Will has a situation where he's disabled with mental and physical disabilities. So on the very basic level, your mom, you know, there's no mention of a dad here, so we're just talking about your mom. Your mom has some things that she is dealing with just in general with having you with these situations. Coming at it from a parent perspective, whenever someone chooses to have a child, they don't choose to have a child that is sick. They don't want that because they want their child to be happy and healthy and enjoy life and do all the things that they hope that they could do for your child. And no matter what happened and how you came to be who you are today, your mom has most likely dealt with issues of guilt in terms of feeling that she brought you into this world, into a life that is not what she wanted for you. So there's a part of that where she is projecting that on you. I know this because I can speak from Arcane's perspective. He and his sister are both adopted children, and his sister is 4 years younger than he is, I believe. They were both adopted as infants. When his sister was 5 years old, she was diagnosed with a brain tumor at 5. And so think about going in and making a decision to adopt a child. And you are hoping to have this child that has a wonderful life, and you've given them this life that they weren't going to have before. And all of a sudden you are now put in a position where you have a child who has a physical illness that actually, you know, she survived it and she wound up having physical and mental disabilities for her entire life. She's still living. She's dealt with these problems her entire life. Unfortunately, when you're an adopted parent, you made the choice to adopt this child, and then all of these things happen to you as part of it. So that is one perspective for Will to understand, is that is where your mom is coming from, is that she has her own stuff. Mm-hmm. She's dealing with the fact that you have these problems, and she possibly blames herself. I don't know her. But I can tell you that no mother wants their child to be in pain or to be sick or to have limitations in their life. Nobody does. So that's one part of it. Yeah. That tends to become something that is a little bit more amplified when it comes to how you choose to work in your life. So you've chosen gaming as something that helps you deal with your life. It makes you happy. It makes you feel normal. It makes you feel comfortable. But your mother is looking at that and saying, well, my son can't go and do what I want him to be able to do. Maybe that's basketball or marching band, or the things that your mom has this visual for. Mm-hmm. And you're saying in the email, it says two different things. It has, I have no life. And then he says, I do have somewhat of a life. I go out with a group and I do stuff. But there's those two parts of it. And so I'm thinking, like, Mark Honan, if you had those situations where your dad wanted you to be able to play basketball and be an athlete, but you physically could not do it because of the limitations of your body. That would be a completely different situation than what you had, where you were just like, I don't like that stuff. I just like to sit in front of the TV and play video games. Do you see where I'm going?
Well, yeah, because then it was a decision that I made. It's not a decision that some other situation decided for me.
Right.
And that was the key, that my dad gave me the choice, and I had the choice, and I made the choice. But for Will, the choice was made for him by none of his own doing,
right.
And so this is something that was out of both him and his mother's control.
Right.
So yeah, so that's where the difference lies. And
yeah. And so the question is, though, what exactly she blames your trouble, like what are the troubles that your mom blames the games for? There's no mention of what they are. Is it that she feels like you don't have any friends? Is that she, because if you're playing World of Warcraft, I'm pretty sure you probably have interactions with people in your guild or on a raid team or something that she just doesn't understand.
Yeah, that's a big part of, that was what my mind jumped to the first time when I read the letter, is that it was kind of, it may be that you've got, you don't go out with your real life friends, like you were saying, you go out with a group, you don't go out with them as much, and your mother's blaming the game on it. And, if you're becoming, like if you have any kind of antisocial moments, like where you're like, Mom, I don't want to do that, I'm just going to play here, then it's the game's fault. It's this thing that's kind of cutting you off from her and everywhere else. That's the first thing that's always what jumps to my mind because I have a friend, she is dealing with her mother, who is very controlling, very overprotective, very scrutinizing, and very judgmental about WoW, and how it's a complete waste of time. You're never going to enjoy it. This is a stupid hobby, all this other stuff. And it's something she's dealing with very, very hard right now. It's a very tough time for her. And so I've already been thinking about this stuff the last few weeks anyway. And then we get this letter. So yeah, I don't know if your mother has any idea of how the game works, because that's one thing I showed my mom, because at first she was kind of like, you're doing what now? What is this? What are you doing? I was like, well, Mom, this is what it is. And these are the people behind it. And this is all this stuff. And I'm just education, if they're willing to listen, will go a long way to helping it in situations where that's the problem. So I don't know if that's the problem, that she just doesn't, she's blaming the game on kind of like an antisocial thing, or a not wanting to be around. I don't know exactly what, like you were saying, what the troubles are.
Yeah. The question that I'm going to hypothesize, because I'm going to go with what we've got here. My thought is that her feeling is possibly that he uses the game as a crutch to keep him from doing other things in his life.
True.
Or and there is something, and I'm going to delve into something that I have a little bit of experience with just in our own life, but I am not a professional. I will put that out there. It is not, this is not a professional opinion at all. It is just my observations on things that I have seen in my life. So Kane's sister because she has these disabilities, she has the mentality of about a 14-year-old, and physical problems, movement problems, that kind of thing, and they've not really gotten better in her entire life. But what has held her back the most in her life is because her mother has been so angry about her life situation, she has therefore taken on the anger towards the world. His sister has. So when she doesn't talk to you, she's very sullen. She's always seeming to be just right old pissed off all the time. Mad at the world is how I put it. And I do think that in terms of a personal situation and how you handle it, the attitude that you have is a lot in how you can get on with your life, can be a part of your life. If your mother, Will, is in a situation where she is angry at the situation that you're in, and therefore she blames the video game as something for you to avoid, becoming better or developing, or I don't know what it is, but she thinks that it is just an excuse for you to not, to retreat and not want to connect with people and not want to be a part of other people's lives. that's one thing. And I don't know you, so I don't know how are you a solo player, like you don't connect with anybody. The game is just a retreat, an absolute retreat, because it is for all of us. I think for a certain extent, the game is a relaxation. It's a calming situation for people who have social anxiety. It is a lot easier to talk to people in game than it is to go out and just chat with somebody on the street or at a bar.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So my thought in how you handle this is that you need to talk to your mother in a way that really helps to disarm her a little bit. You can't come at it with anger. You can't come at it with frustration. You have to come at it from a perspective of trying to understand how she feels about it.
Absolutely.
Truly how she feels about it. And with an absolute interest in wanting to know how she feels. Now, I know that's really hard in some cases, because when you have a situation where someone is constantly nagging at you and beating you down and making you feel like crap and all this stuff, saying these negative things about something that's important to you, there's emotional residue that hangs about. You get angry, you get resentful, you automatically tense up and feel like you just want to take somebody and just be like, no, I don't want to talk to you. And if you can separate yourself from the situation and honestly just want to have a conversation with her to find out how she feels about it in an honest sense, that may give you some of the answers that you need. And this is not easy, guys. It is not easy in an emotional situation to sit down with somebody who you have had strife with and come at it from a pragmatic sense. It's very hard. Because emotion is it's like there are shadows and memories that hang on when you have emotional dissent or conflict. So if Marconin and I were always at odds about certain topic, let's say that we were always at odds about a certain topic, no matter what happened, anytime that topic came up, we would fight about it. Over time, we would both come to resent anything that happened to do with that topic.
Because you'd still have that baggage from all the other times that you'd argued.
Exactly. You'd hang on. You'd feel dread, tension, nervousness, eye rolling, like, oh my God, we got to do this again.
Again? Yeah.
I don't want to go down this road again. And so the hardest thing is to get yourself out of that mindset of going, I don't want to have another fight with my mother about World of Warcraft. I am so sick of this. I am so tired of her telling me that this, because she's been saying the same thing over and over for probably years. But this is the way that you break through it, is by asking a different question and to say, I want to know honestly. And I'm not trying to upset you, but I just want to know why you hate this game so much. And to understand where she's coming from, and to ask follow-up questions after she starts. Well, it does this and it does that. Okay, but why? But why? Keep asking more questions. Don't just let one thing be said and then it goes away. Ask more questions. Follow it up. Dig in deeper. Because
get to the root.
Yeah, you gotta dig. And sometimes these are hard discussions to have. But it is something that can really, really help a relationship if you're willing to put in the time. This goes not just for Will. It goes for all of us. If you have a contentious relationship with somebody and you've gone down that same road 100 times and you've never gotten to a different spot, you've got to take a different path to get there. That's the only way to do it. So I feel for him. I feel for Will.
I do too. And I really hope that she is willing to talk. That's another thing, but that's a whole nother issue, is if she's not willing to talk, not willing to explain, not willing to dig deep with him and let him in on why she feels this way, then it's so much harder.
And the hardest thing on this all, is that when you have years of built up emotion, when you have years of sadness or frustration or guilt or all of these things that could be there. I mean, I can bet you probably there is some part of this, Will, that your mom has guilt over the fact that you have these challenges in your life. I can pretty much, I can sense that is going to be something, because what parent wouldn't have that? Nobody wants to have their child have challenges that they can't overcome without, when you're given this kind of challenge where it is so difficult to overcome or that you just cannot. But I feel like you want to know how to deal with this. You're going to have to try to understand your mom better, and that you have to look at it from a perspective to say, I really want to have a good relationship with you. I love you. I care about you, but this can't continue to be this way. Lori in the chat room is asking how old he is. We don't know. I'm not sure how old he is, and he didn't give us that information. So, but I do think that no matter what, there's some things that need to change, and there are challenges and things that have been built up. This may not be fixed overnight. It may require several conversations as you peel back the layers. And it's very difficult to be honest with each other. It is very difficult to give somebody complete honesty without barriers. I can tell you, it is not easy.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that is a really tough thing. So, but Will, I think that the first step of taking on this question, looking at it from a perspective of, I want my mom to understand me, and I want her to understand what my gaming means to be. And have you ever told her? Have you ever told her what gaming means to you, what it does for you, how it makes you feel? Those are things that we need to talk about with our parents too. I'm lucky enough, most likely my dad is watching the stream tonight, and though he doesn't play World of Warcraft and he never really has seen it, he understands that this is something that's really important in my life. And so it is something that is really cool to have that. I feel badly that Arcane's mother doesn't really get it, and she never would. So, because she doesn't want to. She doesn't have that interest in knowing what he's interested in and how he spends his time. So, but it is what it is. So,
yeah,
it is. I also would like Will to just try to think about it from, if this wasn't you and it was somebody else, like it was your buddy, and you saw the situation from a perspective of your dad or your buddy with their dad or their mom, and how you would see it from an outsider perspective. It's hard, but it's a hard thing to do, but you can still do it. So I would really like to hear an update as well. That would be really cool.
Mm-hmm.
That would be very cool to have an update. Good luck, Will. And I hope you're enjoying the Warlords expansion too. It's been pretty
Oh,
fun.
yeah. Take care, Commander.
Take care, Commander. And if you guys want to be a part of this show and ask us for some feedback, you can do so. questions@taurenThinkTank.com is the address to send those letters to. We appreciate every single one of them, and we're excited to get them. So thank you guys for giving us stuff to talk about, tough stuff. And
we enjoy it.
Now it's not going to be we'll go into the non-tough stuff. How's that?
Yeah.
Okay, it's time for some Tell Us One Thing.
We read your submissions because reading your mind would just be creepy.
Okay, Marconin, favorite Star Trek series? TOS, TNG, DS9, Voyager, or Enterprise? For a bonus question, favorite captain? From Zedeca. P.S. Thanks for the BlizzCon hugs. So great to meet you both.
Yeah, it was good to meet you too, buddy. Thank you.
It was. He's awesome.
Yeah, it was awesome. All right, favorite Trek series. I like them. Well, the one I like the least is the original series, but that's only because it was way before my time. I respect it, and I enjoy the odd episode when I get the chance to watch it, but it's too 60s for me. That being said, I am a product of the 80s, so therefore my favorite series is Next Generation, which started in 1989. So just another gun. Yeah, Next Generation is my favorite series because I grew up on it. And then when I went to college, Spike TV, when that was a thing, would air reruns of Next Gen all day in the middle of the day. And so I would have a break in classes. So I'd go to my opening classes for the day. Then I'd go sit in my dorm room and would watch 2 or 3 episodes in TNG 5 days a week. And that got me, that's where the smart stuff of TNG and the overall kind of ideas and things that they were trying to say took over. I was like, this is actually a pretty good show. I really like this show, and it gave me a deeper appreciation for my favorite captain, who is Jean-Luc Picard, because he's a very complex character. He's the opposite kind of Kirk, because Kirk is not very complex sometimes. But yeah, I really enjoyed Picard. I loved Enterprise when it came on. I loved it so much, and it died too quickly. It could have done so much more. And I love Scott Bakula anyway from Quantum Leap, because I love that show too. So to see Sam Beckett pilot or captain a starship was great.
See,
so,
and
yeah,
all of this is kind of going whoop, because I just don't watch Star Trek at all.
Kane has to help me help you.
I know.
We need to fix this.
I know. But you know what? We're rewatching Babylon 5 right
Yeah.
now, so I think I get some cred for that.
You do, because I honestly haven't really seen any of Babylon 5.
It's so good.
I know I need to go back and do. So I'll go back and do Bab 5. You can go back and just do TNG. It's only 7 seasons.
Only 7 seasons.
Ignore the first season, because that's they're still getting used to their characters. But when you get into the later seasons and you get to really dig in and see, oh gosh, Data was my favorite growing up, because I was the odd man out. I was the one that was always getting picked on. I was the one that was different than most of my friends, and I felt very outcast. And so I really identified with Data and his ability to, plus he was a cat person, so that helps too. So yeah,
awesome.
I mean, give Star Trek a chance, at least Next Gen, because that's some good television, very good television.
See, the problem is that, okay, so I listen to the morning stream, and they have this segment every day where they bring someone on and they do a Stump a Trek Nerd segment, and they do like a trivia thing. And it's just like every single time they do this, they say, oh, that was like a terrible episode. Every single time. And they talk about a lot of TNG. Oh, that episode was so stupid. And it like all the time. And I'm like, I don't want to see that.
It's not, well, I mean, everybody's different. And there are some episodes of Next Gen that I don't like and that I don't watch. There's episodes of Voyager that I flat out refuse to watch because I don't like the topics and the stuff they discuss and the things that happen. But overall, I mean, and the good thing about Next Gen is except for a few exceptions, it's pretty much what's the bad guy of the week? What's the bad particle of the week? What's the bad thing? And it's not serialized.
Yeah.
There are some ideas like there's 2-parters and there's things that call back to earlier episodes, but it's not a big serialized thing where you have to watch every episode. I bet you I could find a list of trimmed down episode lists to get you just the bullet points, the big story moments, and therefore you don't have to watch all 7 seasons.
Oh, see, if you went in and did all that work, I would be like, okay, now I got to do this.
I'm on it. I'm going to burn the midnight oil. We're gonna get her through this.
Oh my gosh, somebody did that with us for Doctor Who, and I was like, hitting bullet points for Doctor Who on that type of thing. Mm-hmm. It's too funny. I got a text from my dad just a little while ago. He's like, "We're listening, Mom too." It's like, "Hi, Dad." "Hi, Mom."
Hi, Jules and Mom and Dad.
It's Papa Jules and Mama Jules.
Papa Jules and Mama Jules.
See, Papa Jules is getting a little more dangerous because he knows stuff. And I forgot to tell this story. I should tell the story now. So he asks me, he goes, "So, I got to ask you this. Where's the red light district in World of Warcraft?" I said, "What?" He goes, "Where's the go-go bars?" And I'm like, okay, so I'm now trying to explain what Goldshire is to my dad. And I'm trying to explain that there are people that go into this specific area, especially on certain servers, and then there's a little bit of hanky-panky going on. So Dad says we should open up Al's Tavern next to this area in Goldshire, and we could make a killing on it. And I said, "So you want to be the proprietor of Al's Tavern?" And he goes, "Oh, yeah. And your mom can be the tavern wench." And I said, "That's my mother you're talking about." So Papa Jules, there might be more Papa Jules stories coming around because all of a sudden now he's gotten a little bit more knowledge about the game to be dangerous.
Just a little.
Just a little bit. Anyway, there you go. All right, from Talonroyd Swotor, who is your favorite Garrison follower so far, and which follower makes you consider getting a restraining order on?
Taryn Gregory asked on Twitter the other day about this, and I said Fiona, the lady, the Worgen lady, who's part of the caravan that you see in like it was Eastern Plaguelands or Eastern Plaguelands, I think, and she comes to Draenor, and she's my favorite right now because she's my herbalism lady, because I've got the big herb garden. And
it's not Fiona, is it?
Fiona, isn't it?
I think it's Fiona.
Fiona. What did I say?
I don't know. I don't think you called her
Fiona.
The Worgen lady.
I thought I said Fiona at the beginning.
Okay,
yeah,
I don't know if I heard it.
It's all right. Yeah, Fiona. Yeah, I like her because of the herbalism bonus. But I actually stumbled upon the first quest for the Archmage Vargoth dude, the image. So I found his ring, and I was like, oh hey, that's where the guy comes from. And so went on my head, found all the pieces, and so now I got him. So I kind of like him because he's a big mage dude, and I kind of like him, but I think Fiona is my favorite. I don't really think I have one to have a restraining order on. Although when speaking of the Molten Core run, we got Jules was the raid leader at one point when we came back, and so I got teleported and I went to her garrison, and I saw her pleasure bot, and he got a little too close to me. He might have tried to do some things that we may have to talk to the garrison leader about. Because
God damn it, Pleasure Bot! I told you to behave yourself when people came over.
But there are so many people to pleasure here. Step right up, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So if you've never been in a party with somebody else, you can actually invite them, or they can come to your garrison as the party leader. So this whole 40-man raid could come to my garrison. And thank goodness that I had just upgraded to the level 3 garrison that afternoon. Because I'm sitting there going, this is how I think. I'm like, oh my gosh, I would have been so embarrassed if everybody came over and my garrison was only level 2. I mean, my goodness, it's me. And I have a level 2 garrison, and these people are walking around going, what is she doing with her time? It's like, that's how I think. So I was very excited to have my level 3 garrison, and it was like, and then I'm like, oh, but I didn't clean. There's nothing. I didn't tell the followers to behave themselves. I didn't straighten up the herb fields. So
you got like 37 work orders to fill in here, lady. What do you think you're doing? Where you been?
Oh, I love it. It's the garrison cracks me up, man. It's just this time suck that is just the best.
It really is.
It is so. And then, of course, it's now getting into when you go and want to add additional garrisons, like you want to do alts. And I'm just like, oh, dude, I can't even imagine keeping track of all this.
I know.
By the way, you almost got banned by one of our moderators just right now.
Well, somebody... Okay, who is it that asked that? Where are you going to put a pleasure bot that big? And of course, when somebody asks that, I think about National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Hey, Griswold, are you going to put a tree that big? Bend over and I'll show you. That's like, I instantly think of that, so I can't help it.
Oh my gosh. See, this is what happens when you make me cough. It's just...
I don't know. I was looking at the chat and I was like, oh, no one said it yet. I got to hurry.
Honestly, though, I don't pay attention to my garrison followers at all. So I can't even tell you like who's my favorite and who I don't like, because all I'm doing is just sending them on stuff. So
whoever
I just
loses
don't
the
know.
most missions, I hate them. Because I'm sucking out all my resources.
Oh, that's funny. That is funny. All right, the next one.
Let's see. From Mammoth. You are to make a new Blizzard toy. You buy the physical item, robe, plushie, toy weapon, and get the in-game item, i.e. a mount transmog of a weapon or armor or pet. What is it?
Oh, goodness. Okay. So you buy the physical item, and then the digital item shows up in game.
Yeah, kind of like the Griffin Wyvern plushies, which
yeah.
I ordered a Griffin one. It's up in the box still. I haven't redeemed it. So that kind of thing.
Yeah. Okay. Gosh, this one's tough. I don't know. I think it would be kind of fun to have an outfit that, so like it'd be like dressed like your character, so you could wear the outfit on yourself, and then it would be something that you would be on your character. So I got a new cool alliance hoodie, and my night elf walks around with the night elf, with the hoodie on, being like, hey.
That's a cool idea. I like that.
Dress like your character.
Or like a Murloc hat.
Oh,
you can walk around with a Murloc hat on. Oh, there'd be so many Murloc hats. Oh, that's a
I
good
would
idea.
say, and we would probably need like a Pepe, stuffed thing. Pepe's become like the favorite. And we made sure everybody who was in a garrison last night for Molten Core, we were like, if you're in your garrison and you can find Pepe, you got to come into the Molten Core wearing your Pepe. It's just so cute. And then everybody gets the fiery crowns, and it looks like you're roasting him alive while you're wearing the crown. Do it. It is really funny. Arcane was running around like that the other day. So I would be dressed like your character.
That's a really cool one. I like that. I was just kind of thinking about it, and you know me, I'm a mount guy, so I was thinking either you could do something akin to like the little blind packs, like with the BlizzCon pins.
Yeah.
It'd be like a mount. Like there's like 8 regular mounts and then a super rare mount. And you buy the blind pack, whatever it's like a little mini figure. Like I've got little on my desk, I have little Doctor Who figures. There's the 12th Doctor right there.
Aww.
So it'd be cool if you get something about this size, and then it comes with a code to redeem it for that mount, like on the base or whatever. And you can have the mount here and then the mount on the game too. That would be kind of cool.
That's cool. That they do that with I think it's Disney Infinity.
Yeah.
The little minifigs, and then you can do that in the game too. It's very cool.
I think they should do that. I think that'd be really cool.
All right. From Southern_Samuel, Blizzard asks you to make a class ignoring balance. What is its abilities and what role does it fit?
Oh, goodness. An entire class?
Yeah.
It's a good idea. I mean, I could go easy and say Demon Hunter, but I don't think I want to do that. What else are we missing in the game now that we have monks and
because for a while my answer to that was always monk. But now, I mean, I've used this one before. There's the Bard class.
Yeah.
There's that. You could call a warlock a necromancer. You could, but
I would kind of like the idea of a battle mage. Sounds cool, like a heavily armored mage. But like a plate wearing, I guess a plate mage would be cool, or something like that. But I mean, I don't know if you could really get it. If I could really get it so different from a regular mage that it would be worth it being a separate class. Kind of like, it took the way that Death Knights are different than warriors. It would have to be either the resources or the rotations or how they did it. You would have to have it different enough to where it would warrant it. But I would personally like a mage tank, like a big old, a way I've talked about it before, I think on the show, like a warden having it's kind of like the disc priest putting up shields around me and holding off the bad guys or holding off the bosses and stuff.
Yeah, I've played in other games. I've played characters that are strictly support, and where they have so it's like a disc priest having the shields and the barriers and all that kind of stuff that you could have. And then there was something in City of Heroes where it was like this healing class that had certain abilities. So you had to throw, it was this cool thing. I loved it. You threw the healing thing to somebody, and then it rippled out of them and circled around them. So if your character was up tanking, I would throw the heal on you, it would fly across to you, and then it would ripple out. And it was kind of like, I think they called it a defender in City of Heroes. And so they had shielding, and they had that kind of thing, and then you had the kind of this weird kind of ripple effect healing. So I would like a really cool kind of in Arcane just got it. It's the Kinetics power set in City of Heroes. I want something more like that, where you can choose like barriers or the creative healing ways, or or like levitating people off the ground to get them out of bad stuff, or more stuff that would allow you to save the group from their stupidity.
Yeah. When you're talking about that, it reminded me of the stuff we saw in the gameplay trailer for Overwatch of all those support classes.
Yes.
Like Mercy and all that. And so I don't know if I could have Tracer in WoW. I could be Tracer. Just blink around and shoot people with guns.
Wouldn't that be cool? You just
What
blink
you looking
around
at?
everywhere. See, and now
That'd be
Arcane
so
talked
cool.
about that the other day because he was watching Khadgar during the early parts of when you're doing 10 on jungle. And he's
Yeah.
like, hey, I have an idea and I'm going to break open the dam. But he blinks. He does like this ricocheting blink that goes from like where he is. And he goes boink, 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 boink. And he just winds up ending up on this pedestal in the middle. And he's like, why
That's
can't I
right.
do that as a mage?
I know. He's Khadgar's on this whole other level than we are.
I know.
It's terrible.
I know.
Like if my shaman could do could do awesome things and or my warrior could do those awesome things, that like what Thrall can do and all those other people, it would just be it would be broken, but it would be awesome.
Very cool. Let's do the next one.
Yeah, let's see. From Echoes GG, what celebrity? I guess they meant celebrity.
Celebrity?
Who put that on the teleprompter? I told you he'll read it.
I've got to make sure I change these things for you.
No, I won't go too off the reservation. But what celebrity would you want as a follower, and what abilities would they have? Now, is this a WoW celebrity, or like Tom Cruise in your garrison?
I'd say anybody, any celebrity.
Okay. Oh goodness, that kicks the door wide open.
I want Jennifer Lawrence to be in my garrison, and she's the one sitting behind that table that gives out all the missions.
Oh
and
yeah.
the one who tells you that you have to go to the proving grounds to go, because that would be like Katniss telling you gotta go be some badass.
That's really cool.
I'd take that one. Chuck Norris in the shower. Thanks, Nate.
There you go. Well, I was okay. I would want Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Where?
Hello. What do you want me to go do? Do you want me to defend your garrison? I will. Do you want me to go punch a cleft hoof in the face? I will. Do you want me to go do something else? I will. Thank you, Commander. I'll be back in about an hour. I'll be back in about an hour with 37 garrison resources if I win. But I always win.
Oh, man. Yeah,
Or some,
Arnold always comes back successful.
Yeah. No matter 1% chance, I came back. Here he is. What do you want me to do with his corpse? Yeah, here's your resources. Look at all these loots.
That's
something like
awesome.
that. Just to have that voice, that'd be funny. That was the first one that popped into my head.
The I'll be back thing is kind of a given. So
Yeah. I'll be back in an hour.
that's too funny. From Jen Morton 01, what has been your greatest achievement since Warlords of Draenor released? Dungs don't count.
I wanted to dung 100.
You took the best screenshot of dunging 100, by the way.
Oh yeah. See, I got some feedback on Twitter, and people didn't know that if you mouse over your achievement, like when it goes whirring, it won't disappear.
Yeah.
As long as you leave it there, it'll slowly disappear. Like if you take your mouse off it, but if you put it back on, it'll stay there. And so that's how I was able to get multiple shots of me dunging 100. So that's
I had no
that's
idea
tip.
how you did that, and I'm like, dude, because I was kind of setting myself up for when it was about to. And I'm like, how did you do that? So
Yeah.
now I know.
Yep, that's how y'all do it. So if you're out, you can do it for your alts. Oh, let's see. What's my greatest achievement is since then? That's a tough one.
Mine. So I have the lumber mill in my garrison. I currently have the level 2 lumber mill. And it was like the greatest thing ever when I could actually run up to the regular timber and actually take it down and not have to go after the small timber, especially when you're in Nigrand and everything is big. And in Nigrand, everything is big.
Heyo.
Heyo! So, and I was just like, I was so excited. I'm like, I can cut down that tree. I'm so excited. That
Yay,
is really
deforestation.
lame. That was a big
Oh,
achievement for me.
oh yeah. Oh gosh, I guess I would say either getting that wolf mount after 6 hours of staring at the screen and finally getting that. That'd probably be it. Other than oh well, I mean finishing out Negron and seeing what happens at the end of the Negron if you haven't seen it.
Yeah.
That I after seeing that in the ending cinematic, I was just like this at the screen, just staring at it. I was like, oh man, oh dude, like I just it took me a minute to kind of get over it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's like geez. So I guess that was the most impactful moment. So well that and well pretty much all those cinematics were in one way or another, but yeah, I guess the wolf would have to be that and finally getting that and getting a level 3 garrison is pretty awesome too because
That is cool. 'Cause you work hard for that.
Yeah, it looks because I know everybody's saying don't spend your resources when you're leveling. Don't buy the XP boost. Don't do nothing because it takes 2,000 garrison orders to get up there. I was like, okay, I won't spend anything. So I was able to upgrade it as soon as I hit 100, but still, just like it's really cool because that's the scene where Varian is like, Commander, we have relied on you and you have fought for us and yada yada, and you are awesome. General, awesome. Insert awesome speech here. Awesome. Ring level 3. There you go.
Yeah, and when your garrison gets to be level 3, you're like, oh my gosh, I am the coolest thing ever.
Boy, they must like me. Oh, okay. I see a lot of people talk about lumberjack. I got the lumberjack title, so that's pretty awesome too. I like having that. Because I'm a lumberjack and I'm okay. Sleep all night and work all day.
And we have the lumberjack song.
Yep.
All right. From
Let's
Muzzy.
see. Mine's there you go.
What's that?
You
You good?
Yeah, from Muzzy. What's your favorite Thanksgiving side dish? Bonus sport question. Who wins? Bears or Lions on Turkey Day?
Well, we know who turned that out. These are from last week.
Was it the Lions? Because I know the Lions were ahead. I didn't get to finish the game.
I didn't even notice. I think the Lions won, but who knows? Yeah. Who cares?
Are the Bengals still a team?
Yeah.
Because they need to have a three-way game of Lions, Tigers, and Bears.
Because nobody's used that joke before.
Well, I'm not a sports nut. I don't know.
You haven't used that joke before.
I haven't used that joke before. I watched the Super Bowl, and that's about it. I don't know.
I don't know what football is. So what is your favorite Thanksgiving side dish? That's the one we can answer.
Yes, that's the one we can answer. Well, what about you, Jules? What's your favorite?
It's got to be good mashed potatoes. Like, made with lots of milk and butter and all that stuff.
That's the only way to make.
Oh, yeah. You don't make no instant mashed potato crap. No. So, yeah, that's my favorite. I could eat a whole bucket of mashed potatoes if I was given the chance.
Oh, man. Yeah. I'd have to go with my grandmother's mac and cheese. That's the best.
It's a side
Homemade
dish for Thanksgiving?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's Thanksgiving and every other meal, but just having it. Well, okay. We're going with traditional. I mean, heck, we had some sweet potatoes that were pretty good, but man, I do love mac and cheese. I pile it on.
mac and cheese, man. Well, and nobody makes it like the Southerners do. So.
Well, yeah, we didn't corner the market. Italians, they're the ones who had all the noodles and everything, but we do all right. We do all right with our mac and cheese.
All right.
Hey, sweet potatoes are good though. Yeah, I had some sweet potatoes Thursday. They were delicious.
I'm kind of on the fence about sweet potatoes. Because I never. So when I was growing up and they were at the Thanksgiving table, they always looked really gross to me because they were always the way that they had them at the table is they always took the sweet potato and they baked the whole thing and then they halved it and everybody could just kind of scoop out the thing. Yeah. There was never it didn't look like mashed potatoes that were sweet potatoes. It was always the yam thing.
Yeah.
And to me, that was never appealing. So I was just like, no, sweet potatoes. So I've had mashed sweet potatoes and they're really good when you do them right.
Yeah, but that's how I like them.
It's just not I still like the cranberry sauce out of the can because that is what I grew up with. Where it comes out of the can and it goes. it just lands on the plate.
Just jiggles. Just blah, blah, blah,
And it's like there ain't no like normal cranberry sauce, like the actual cranberries. No, it's got to be in the can form.
Yeah,
it's got to be in the can form.
Gotta be the can form.
So yeah, I mean, Thanksgiving dinner is just there are certain things that have to be the same, and the cranberry sauce from the can. That's for me.
Yeah, we had that too.
All right, from Killian AIE. If you were to take a week vacation in Warlords, where would you and why?
Oh man, the easy answer would be Shadow Moon Valley, because that's pretty much the only one that's friendly to the Alliance / me. Everywhere else is pretty hostile.
Yeah,
they're
it's not
like,
as pretty as Shadow Moon Valley either.
Yeah. Trying to think what I mean. I like Nagrand a lot. I love it from BC with the floating islands and everything. It's really nice, but I'd probably just have to go with Shadow Moon Valley, because it's peaceful. The music is beautiful, and I could just kind of hang around with the Draenei. They can tell me some things about the light, and I can go around Karabor, and see see what's going on there, and kind of run, and just feels very peaceful and relaxing. Because you said vacation, and I want to relax when I'm on vacation. I do want to do cool things, which is why my garrison's there, and I can kind of hang around there for things. And plus, there's an outhouse there, so I have an option to go to the bathroom if I need to. And stay regular, like everybody is getting. But so yeah, I'd go with Shadow Moon.
Nice.
What about you?
Oh, absolutely. I no other zone really connected to me like Shadow Moon did when we did the leveling. I didn't like Gorgon at all. I wanted to be out of there as soon as I could.
Yeah.
I just didn't like it. It didn't feel good. Spires of Iraq were okay. It's very dark. It's kind of dank. It feels very woodsy. Not my thing. And Nagrand is too like rolling plains.
Yeah.
Not my thing either. There's just something about, you're right. There's something about Shadow Moon Valley that just feels very comfortable and feels very calming. And so for a vacation place, that'd be okay.
Yeah. Talador's not bad around Alkindune. It's very nice. I'd like to go to Alkindune and kind of look around there and stuff. But yeah, Shadow Moon Valley beats it out for me too.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. There's no question.
No question at all. Yeah. All right, from Torhammer _wow. If Blizzard said they were redoing all former quests for the whole game in the Warlords of Draenor format, would you do it all again?
Yes.
Amen.
Yes.
Yeah, I would too.
So I got a bug in my ear today. I've been playing my monk on the Alliance side. Sorry, my throat is getting tight. So I was playing my monk on my Alliance side, and I'm really enjoying it, but I totally forget how to play Mistweaver. I forget exactly how to play a Mistweaver. And when you're leveling, you're not really doing much healing. And so I was like, you know what I should do? I should get another monk going, and I should get myself kind of back into the whole feeling of how it is. So I rolled a monk on the Horde side, and I made her a blood elf. And I get this whisper from Marconin, and I'm like level 4, and he's like, I don't think the Horde can handle another Julaxus. I didn't know they could handle it. And I was just like, oh man. But I am doing the Blood Elf starter area, which I've done probably about 50 times, and it's the same thing, and it's blah, blah, blah. And so, yeah, if they did, like, the optional quests that they made in Warlords, where you're just kind of wandering along, and all of a sudden there's like this quest that pops up and you can get stuff out of it just from killing stuff because you happen to be in the area. I really like those.
Yeah, those are awesome. I love those.
And you have to follow a certain path to get through, but you also can kind of be distracted. And there's rares that you can kill. I think that would be fantastic. I don't think they'd ever do it, but I think it would be really cool if they did.
Yeah. Plus, getting the ending cinematic at the end of a zone, making it pertinent to the story later on, all that kind of stuff, that would be fantastic.
Yeah.
Like all of those quests, all those memorable moments and quests, like what about, Mancrick's wife? We find out that, what happened to her. If that was put into a cinematic, even more people would be upset. It would not upset, but it would be impactful,
Mm-hmm.
and all these big moments from the story, that would be great. Like I said, I don't think they'll do it because they've already redone the old world once. So there's not much, they don't have a good enough reason right now to do it because they had a good reason with Cataclysm because the freaking world was breaking. So it made sense. So, yeah, I would definitely play it, but I don't see it happening anytime soon.
Yeah, I agree. It'd be cool, but I don't think it's gonna ever come around unless they decide the next expansion is they're just gonna take the whole world and go whoop and just start it all over again.
Yeah. WoW 2.0 for realsies. Go.
Okay, go for it.
You're now level 1 again.
Level 1, everybody starts over.
No.
God, no. From Al the Mage, if you had to work in any of the garrison buildings, which would it be and why?
Oh, let's see. Wouldn't be the stables. I like
Nope.
my nose. I like my sense of smell. I think that's why for the Alliance side, there's dwarves there, because I don't know if the dwarves have a good sense of smell or something. They're like, I don't mind it. Just get me more drink and I'll home
I'll
this
just drink
Talbot's
more
mead.
beer.
Yeah, exactly. So it wouldn't be the stables. Oh man, what would it be? It would probably be the alchemy lab, I would say, because I just get to sit there and make potions all day, and it's kind of cool. I mean, I don't have to go dig through the dirt with mining or at the herb garden or anything, or go fish or anything. It's very, you get the work orders in, and you're like, I just got some frostweave. I'll make a crystal. There you go, buddy. What else you got? That's kind of a simple thing.
And this is why Mark Honan is truly an indoor nerd. I don't want to go dig in the dirt in the mine, and I don't want to do it in the herb garden. So I'm going to go into the alchemy lab where I can be indoors like a true nerd.
At least I didn't say the inn and just sit there by the hearth and drink or eat or something. I got some work done. I'm learning something.
I agree with you. I would be in the inscription hut. I would be in there.
There you go.
Yeah. Because it's, you're just grinding up, milling herbs and making sure that you can turn them into, scribing. And I call it the scribe shack, actually, when I go in there. I'm going to build a scribe shack. So.
Welcome to Julana's scribe shack. We write stuff for you.
It's pretty cool. I like it.
I like it a lot.
I like it a lot. And the last one.
The last one is from Deekshan. Your character finds their alternate timeline self. What would happen? I'd love to make them a follower, he says. And I'd like to be able to read a sentence without screwing it up.
No, good luck with that, right? It's getting late in the night.
Yeah.
So I would say in my alternate timeline self, my druid. Oh gosh, I don't know.
Mirror Universe Julana.
So you'd be going back, 40 years?
Yeah.
And you'd be seeing what you've been doing at the time. I don't know. It's like I would probably just be bored changing into different animal forms and being like, cool. Look, a bear. There's a kitty.
You're a bear, and now I'm a bear. We're both bears. Look at that. Handsome. We're both bears.
You just turned into a black bear. I just turned into a brown bear. I mean, this is the extent of my exciting life would be, how many animal forms can we change into in a minute?
Just playing games.
I don't know. I don't even know. I mean, I don't even know how old she is, so I don't know if she would be like a teenager and it would be like I can change into animals or something like that. I don't know.
I don't want to tame into. She could be like Valley Girl at that point. Like, I don't want to turn into animals. That's gross.
My God, I don't want to be a cat. Ew. Clean up my poop.
They lick themselves to go. They don't take showers. Ew.
Yeah, no. Valley Girl Jules. There we go.
Valley Girl Jules. Yeah.
Don't get me started. Arcane makes me stop when I start getting into the Valley Girl voice because I could do it for hours.
Oh man, next BlizzCon.
We could do this for hours. I promise you, it could be totally like oh my God, Mark Harden, there is like a cat behind your head right now. Like she's sitting on your suitcase.
she's licking herself. I was just talking about her licking yourself on your other timeline, and there she's doing it. It's gross. It's gross. Gross.
Oh my God, Pixie!
My God.
Ew.
Jeez. So gross. Ugh. Hairballs. Ew.
Ew. Nasty.
I can't even imagine hairballs. Ew.
Yeah, see now they're telling us to stop in the chat room. See, I told you. You could do that for hours.
I knew it happened eventually. There you go.
There's the Z-snap right there.
There's the Z-snap.
Oh, man. This is great. So you guys, thank you for the Tell Us One Thing questions. They are always amusing, especially when the Valley Girl comes out for both of us. So you guys are great. Thank you so much. You can send them on Thursdays through Twitter. It's at Tauren Think Tank on Twitter, or you can send them to us at questions@taurenthinktank.com. My voice is starting to go, so Mark Honan is good. I knew this was going to happen. So you're going to take on a little bit of reading here. And first, I'm going to play the feedback bumper.
Ladies and gentlemen, we now bring you... Wow, that's a lot of feedback.
It really is. And so we've got some feedback. First up, it says, "Hi, Jules and Mark Honan. Thanks so much for reading my question. Here's some follow-up thoughts. My procrastination is not that bad, but because I have so many responsibilities with 3 kids, a full-time IT job, which can and often does include weekends and off-hours work, a house, and oh yeah, a small farm. I kind of forgot to mention that one. Even procrastinating a little bit can cause problems. My creative ideas and projects tend to take the biggest hit, since I try to be a perfectionist on them. The little Jules bot pick I did ended up taking me 6 months, mostly because it just sat there waiting for line work and coloring for 5.5.
Marconi made me a really cool Jules bot picture, by the way, a while ago.
Yeah.
It was really neat.
Well, Marconi kind of hit it on the head. There is a euphoric feeling when you're pushing hard to meet a deadline, especially on work and creative projects. The best way I can describe it is that feeling you have during the last progression raid boss pull of the night, the one where 85% of the raid is dead and there's only about 2% left on the boss and you still manage to get the kill. Anywho, thanks so much again. I'm so glad I could provide a fun topic for you to talk about. Have a great Thanksgiving and /moo from Muzzy.
This was great to hear, and I didn't realize that he actually had a small farm too. I mean, That's no joke. You can't mess around.
Yeah, that really is true. There's, especially when you have all that stuff, like he said, even procrastinating a little bit can cause problems.
Yeah.
Yeah, really
and honestly, I mean, he sounds more like the rest of us than it even was made to be clear in the first email. It's like you have a family, a full-time job that requires you to be on call. You have a house to upkeep, a farm to upkeep, and kids. That's no joke. I mean, you have to keep yourself organized and going, or else things just kind of fall apart. But I know the feeling of procrastination that can be like, I don't really need to do that thing or that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
totally. But that was a fun discussion. There's some more feedback later on about procrastination too, so we'll get to that in a little bit. But the next one is actually feedback about our discussions from last week.
And this one reads, "Hi, Triple T. I agree that you shouldn't call people idiots and rage at people for their terrible release. But if people didn't take to the forums or to Twitter, would they even know that there was a problem? Imagine a world where no one would rage about things that are broken. Blizzard might have no idea about the problems. They might know there are problems, but if no one is complaining about them, why would they work on it? Why would they work all night to fix it? And for the positive tweets to Blizzard, if everyone tweeted positive way to go tweets and no one complained, it makes it look like even less of a problem. We need to complain about bad launches and the problems that need to get fixed. Just a thought. Enjoy the show. Thanks, Steve. P.S. I'm really tired and just got to work and am very unfocused. Sorry if this email makes no sense. I would wait and actually write a decent, coherent one, but I won't ever get to it if I didn't do it now."
Another procrastinator.
Yeah. And to that, I would say there's a difference between complaining and raging.
Yes.
That's the main big thing. Constructive criticism is what they want. They don't want people, Blizzard, fix it. It sucks. It's stupid. Just say, hey, I have a problem with this quest. This is what's wrong. constructive criticism is by all means encouraged and needed and desired, but
Yeah.
just being a jerk and yelling at things is not it's not going to get anything fixed.
And the problem is that a lot of times what happens is that they have to weed through all of the name calling and cursing and all of those things to actually dig into the constructive feedback or the this server is not working, instead of being like, OMG, WTF Blizzard, why doesn't your game work? I can't get in. It's been 20 hours and I've never been able to log in. Well, they don't know who you are, what server you're trying to get into, and anything else related to it. It's just complaining. And so and that's the problem, is that there are so many people out there. I mean, even last night when we were doing Molten Core and then we had all these problems, it wasn't even Blizzard's fault.
Yeah.
And people were like, F this game and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, oh, come on, guys.
It's not the game's fault. It's not the game's fault. Come on now.
It's just a bad circumstance. And shit happens. It does. And nobody was pleased about the fact that we were probably not going to be able to complete this thing after dedicating an hour and 45 minutes to do nothing. And as it turned out, we got lucky. But if we hadn't gotten lucky, we would have been SOL and sitting there with nothing. You'd have to go back and do it again. And that kind of sucks. So,
yeah. But it still wasn't their fault. It's just a bunch of jerks with computer programs trying to be jerks and thinking they're big and bad.
Big jerks. And some more feedback from Twitter. Natani Pally says, procrastination for me is usually feeling overwhelmed and not knowing where or how to start. And I thought that this was actually a really good point because we didn't really talk about this part of it. I know people who have true procrastination problems because they just don't have the skills or the brain. The way their brain works is that they can't process how to get started, and so therefore it just piles up and piles up and piles up.
And I run into that a decent amount. I have that problem about not knowing where to start or how to start things. Like at work sometimes they'll like, hey, make this happen. I know where I need to go. It's just getting there. I don't know. So yeah, I can identify with what she says on that.
There sounds like a very yippy dog behind you.
Yeah, there's somebody walked in the house, so there's a couple yippy dogs yipping.
Gotcha. Okay, I was like, there's a dog in there. And that I know that feeling too, actually, about when you just don't know where to start, so you just don't want to start because you don't know how to, and it's something that I've actually been teaching to my stepdaughter is like when you don't know how to get something done, you start it. Just do something. Get something started, and it will help you to get the momentum. Maybe you'll have to, even if you have no clue, you may have to go back and fix a couple things, but just the getting started part can sometimes be the hardest. So that's what I look at it as, to do it that way. From Odinus, he said, I would eat the hell out of some Talbot Lomain. That was from your Warlords theme. There's a line in your Warlords theme.
Yeah, Talbot Lomain. That's right.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it would taste good.
It's nice to see Odinus' name back in the mix again, by the way.
Yeah, it really is.
Welcome back, buddy.
Yes, exactly. I need to do some audio experimentation because he's got a voice for me, and I need to find it.
Absolutely. And if you want to read the last one too.
Yeah, I'll read the last one. This one's from Ballas. Wow. Commander Butt Munch, I had to pull over. Was laughing so hard I couldn't see. Great episode.
I listened to that episode. I was driving to work and I listened to that episode and I was cracking up over that whole thing. And for days, Commander Butt Munch was one of my favorite things of the week. It just made me very happy. So
it was really good.
Those little moments can be very great. So thank you guys for your feedback. And now it is time for some Slash Moos. From Draven Dresden, Slash Moo to Orcbuster CTR for setting up a successful Molten Core invasion Friday night.
And from Moo Guyver, a big Slash Moo to my Triple T t-shirt, or Triple T-shirt. Since I bought it at BlizzCon, I've been wearing it everywhere. It's really comfy.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I can attest to that. Yes.
I'm glad you like it. For a mother of alt, Slash Moo to my herd. Thank you for always being there and helping your little crab.
Also from Shield Spec, sending my /moos to @2020site, @NoelLove, @MaryLeeScarlett, and @SkullnickWho.
From Terrelin, /moo to our guild Azure Dragonflight for running so smoothly this last week in our leader's absence.
Yeah. And from Reaper Scoob, /moo to my wife Swiftkill and friends Procrastus. Yeah, Procrastus. For helping start up our fun podcast. Always fun times.
Awesome.
A name like Procrastus, it's got to be good.
That's great.
Yeah, Procrastus is going to help us tomorrow.
That's awesome. Looks like you've got a personal shout out in here too.
I do. Since starting at here at Triple T, I've been messaged a couple times in game with people who send their feedback. They're like, I really like the show. It's a really great job. Y'all are doing good. And there were two that I wanted to say, Rinlo and Quintel. They talked to me. I had a nice long talk with Quintel, who had been Horde his entire time in WoW and recently switched over because they have a friend in CTR. So this is their first time on an Alliance character, and was saying, how, and we had a good discussion about classes and what we like to play and stuff like that the other day. And it was really cool. So big shout out to Rinlo and Quintel.
Nice. Awesome. We don't have any iTunes reviews this week, but you can add them to iTunes if you like the show and want to let other people know that you enjoy it listening through iTunes. You can also I think you can still do it on Stitcher, though I can't see them really on Stitcher anymore. I don't know what's going on there. I know Stitcher was bought out or something, so I think they're kind of dealing with their stuff. But
like a restructure.
Structure. So there we go with that.
That's a good way to put it.
So that's like a show. We got a show done.
We did.
We made it.
It's been a couple weeks.
I know.
Your voice is still here.
I know. It's still here. We're gonna muscle through the rest of it. I think it's just about to go, but we'll just make it through the rest. But anything going on with you this week that's coming up?
No, not this week, other than living in my garrison and doing dailies and such. There's maybe working on, I still need to figure out what to do with my 90 boost, but I'll figure that out. Other than that, I'm finally getting into a consistent schedule at work for days during the holidays. So
you're a day walker now.
I am a day walker. I worked Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of this week in all the hustle and bustle. And so now I am firmly cemented, even though I do stay up till sometimes 3 or 4 in the morning. It's hard to kick the habit, especially when you're night owl. But working during the day is going to be good. I'm going to go help my grandmother put up the family Christmas tree and do all the decorations next weekend. Or next Friday. So I'm really looking forward to that. I do that every year, and it's going to be cool. So that'll be the highlight of my week. So
awesome.
That's about it. What about you?
I think we should have another episode of I Remembered It Better. We were going to have Scott Johnson on the show, not this Thursday, but the week prior, and because Ryan, one of our co-hosts, was going to be out of town. Unfortunately, Scott got sick and could not be on the show, and so we decided to just call it for the night. So we haven't had a show since Halloween, so it'll hopefully next week.
You're gonna have to have like a Thanksgiving, Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, New Year's, Valentine's Day all at once.
There's obviously we had the Star Wars trailer that came out, and we got to talk about it.
Oh my gosh, yeah. If ever there wasn't any big news, on the nerd media front.
Oh, dude. I know. So let's hope that we have an episode of I Remembered It Better this week.
Yes.
And other than that, I will be continuing to recover from this horrid cold, and just enjoying. Christmas tree is up already. We're ready. We're ready for this holiday to begin. So, and with that, as we begin the holiday, we will be bringing this baby home right now. Tauren Think Tank is a proud member of the Signals Media All-Star Network. Find out more about the other great shows in the network by going to signalsmedia.com.
Our voiceovers are done by 2 Uber mages. Arcane, and myself, Mark Conan. You can find us outside of the show on our website, and that's at taurenthinktank.com. That has all of our podcasts and information on how to get in touch with us, too.
Thank you to all of our patrons. We have special prizes and perks and treats for all of our patrons at patreon.com/TaurenThinkTank. Your support helps make this show even better, and we appreciate every one of you.
Yes, we do. You can also like us on Facebook at facebook.com/TaurenThinkTank. And also you can find us on Twitter for the show at TaurenThinkTank. You can find Jules at JulesRPG and myself, Mark Conan, at MarkConanWow. You can also chat with us on our forums. Give those boards some love, people. You can find those at forums.signalsmedia.com.
Thank you, everybody, for being here tonight. Thank you, chat room, for chatting along with us, contributing to the discussion. You guys are always amazing, and we appreciate everything that you guys do. And thank you to our mods for taking care of the gnomes that were in the chat room tonight. You see how I did that? I did that for Chief Vol'jin.
There you go, Vol'jin. You're welcome.
Thank you, everybody who wishes to hang out with us during our live show, which is Saturday nights at 10 o'clock Eastern Time. Twitch.tv/TaurenThinkTank is our location. We'd love to see you all here if you can make it for the live show, but we appreciate every download you give us. So, Mark Conan, Arcane, and I all thank you for being a part of the show this evening. Mark Conan, have a great week.
You too, Jules.
And I will see you on next Saturday night. Until next time.
Yeah.
/moo, everybody.
/moo.
Tauren Think Tank. We make your problems less bad.
This podcast is a part of the Signals Media All-Star Network. For more information on this and other fine shows, go to signalsmedia.com. It's okay to stick our stuff in your ears. Really?
Really?
I'm one of these days I will get that switch over with the last part of it. Do the what? But I so no, my brain farts every single time on that last outro. And I've done it once when I've done it right, and I was just like, of course I don't want to squeal because I'm gonna record that. Because I take it right from the video. So, and I was like, so at this time I'm like, God damn it! In my head, it's like, I just did it again. Oh my God! I feel like I want to cough up a lung, but that was awesome. That was so much fun. We love you guys.
Yes, we do. Very much so. We're glad you stuck with us on our week hiatus, but I think we'll all agree that we want a healthy and happy Jules, and she does sound a lot better than she did at the beginning of the week.
Oh, dude.
She sent me a little audio file, and it didn't sound bad.
It was bad.
It wasn't like the 5-pack a day thing, which I think she had last Saturday. But
on Saturday, last Saturday, I had just had the really, really runny nose until like around 5 o'clock. And then it started switching from the runny nose into the chest. Like it started going into my lungs. And it was like this layer of like a clump of crap in my throat that I couldn't swallow past. So when I talked to Arcane when he came home from work, because I stayed up to wait for him to come home from work, and he was like, what the hell happened to you? Like he was gone from like 3 until 11. And he came home and he goes, the hell? Like it was so raspy and so bad, and I would have never made it through that show. Oh, dude, is Pixie out there?
Yeah, she's on the luggage still.
Oh, I
she
see her.
Yeah,
I see her back there.
Pixie.
Hi, Pix. Good scratchy.
Scratchy.
I do have extra shiny nails. They're silver and they've got blue. They've got blue tips on them. It's hard to see them, but yeah. So.
And Vol'jin, I love deviled eggs. Yes, they are good.
They are good.
He's eating them.
Deviled eggs, man. So
Mm-hmm.
I didn't actually have a Thanksgiving dinner this year.
Uh-oh.
I don't want to say it on the show for the official recording, but but some people have asked me. So basically the gist is that I am not spending any time with Arcane's family anymore. So he went over and had Thanksgiving dinner, and I had a frozen pizza for dinner. And a pumpkin pie. I went out and bought
Hey,
a
there
pumpkin
you go.
pie. So
Pumpkin pie is still good though.
yeah, so I was like, yeah, this is cool. I think they kind of do look like the Alliance chopper in a way. It's just, let's see if I can show you guys. But I was being made fun of because we're in Keen Packers territory. So I was like, they're like, you're gonna put on silver and blue. You know, those are Cowboys colors, right? And I'm like, it's not Cowboys colors for my nails. Sorry. So
Yeah, like, that's a bit of a stretch. I mean, I found. I was looking through my little bag. I found my Steerbuck sticker.
there it is. Mine must have fallen somewhere. I'm gonna have to go digging for it because it probably fell behind me. But
Yeah, I found my. Where is it? Found my badge. It was all in the. I had all my papers, all the papers and stuff in a specific bag, so they didn't. None of the papers got folded. So I had them all in my little Lego bag that I bought.
and Kranos is here, so he saw you put that Steerbuck
Oh
sticker
yeah,
up there.
yep. I got my sticker.
And so one of the things that we're going to have is we've got some of those Steerbucks coffee mugs. Patrons who will be donating to us will have an opportunity. Anybody who is a patron will actually be entered into some drawings for some of those in the future. We've got that going on, which is very cool. We're gonna be doing some fun stuff, like for patrons, depending on whatever level you've got. We're gonna have special things for you guys that only patrons will have access to. So we're pretty excited about the things that we can do to give back to the people who want to support the show. So
yeah, and on the audio, the audio stuff, you guys will get the audio stuff first. So if you want to hear Bubba Conan again, that's
Bubba
a great
Conan's
way.
got some plans.
He's got some ideas, some things. And we saw some of the prototype pictures from Nevermore's keychain / necklace.
Yep.
Looks pretty cool. I dig it.
I got to show you something too when we're done. I've got a prototype of things that I want to ask your opinion on.
Sure.
But yeah, so the necklace and keychain thing are really cool. So they're all handmade by Nevermore. So.
And she's awesome. She did. Let's see if I can find them. I don't think I showed this off to the stream yet, did I? I don't know if I did or not. These NES cartridges that she made.
No, you were wearing it though in the video we did for the Patreon. Yeah,
there's Mario 3, and that's Ninja Turtles 2, the arcade game. They're little necklaces.
Aren't they awesome?
And they're like 3D. Like even you can see the little indentations on them. I mean, it's freaking cool.
She did all of that stuff, and she's really good. She So we really wanted to support her and give her an opportunity to have her work be showcased on something that we did. And but the necklace is really pretty. I'm super excited. And so we're working on the keychain right now, and it's going to be really cool. So yeah, we're stoked. This is going to be fun, and it could give us an opportunity to do some stuff that we haven't been able to do. So super excited.
Yeah, it's gonna be good.
So I have a feeling my email is I need to go check my email because I think Lori said that she's already donated. Thank you so much. That is awesome.
We do have 2 patrons already. I just checked it.
Awesome! Yay!
Yep.
Oh, thank you, Nate.
Thank
that
you,
is
Nate.
Awesome. You guys are awesome. Thank you. We're excited. We've got a lot of things cool for you guys because you guys are the special people who support the show, and so there'll be lots of things that we're gonna do that are kind of off the record, but yeah, it's super cool. Anyway,
Arcane said it best. Thank you for your patronage.
Thank you for your patronage. We're just we've been working on a lot of stuff. And we have an idea that we've got it now that my voice is coming back. We got something we're working on for you guys. It's just going to be really fun.
Yeah.
as soon as we can figure out how to do it.
Yeah. It's going to be a good time, I think.
Yeah. So much fun. So, yeah. That's about it, though. That's all I've got.
Yeah. It's not terribly exciting. I mean, the cat's kind of bored.
The cat's like hanging out on your suitcase. Look there. She's like, Dad.
Now she's stretching.
Dad, you're up. Hi, Dad.
You want to say hi? I'll go grab her real quick.
Say Hi. Daw. Hi, Pixie. What a sweet girl. Look at her cling to you.
Yeah, that's how she does.
Aww.
You can't really see her too well. Let me try and tilt her down.
She's
There
just
it is.
clinging to Daddy.
Yeah. This is where she stays. Hey, sweetie. She's still sleepy.
She is so cute. See, and I have the big squirmers. Spike will jump up and just want me to hold him for 5 minutes, and then he'll let me hold him like that, and then he's gone. She's such a cute.
She's clinging onto my cord. Hey, but she's tangled up. There you go.
She's a little girl, isn't she?
Yeah, and she's like 9 or 10 years old. She's not a young cat.
How much
small.
does she weigh?
5 pounds, maybe?
Wow. I mean, Garrosh is little, and he weighs 10 pounds.
Yeah, she's nothing. She doesn't weigh anything. I just carry her one hand, no problem.
How cute is she?
Yeah.
And Reese isn't much bigger.
Well, yeah, she's a good bit bigger. She's not. She weighs more. She's just a little bit longer, a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
But she she would cling to me, and she's the one who likes to stay on the back of the chair.
Yeah.
She'll stay there for a long time.
She's like staring over your shoulder right now. What a cutie.
Yeah. I need to. Yeah, Maslow, I've got a cat that I had in college. He's over at my mom's house. He's 20 pounds of muscle. He's not even fat. He's just huge.
Yeah.
Big boy.
Spike is fat. He's 18 pounds. He is a big boy, but he's also a piglet. So we've gotten him down a little bit because he just eats everything. But
yeah.
I miss having, so my Diamond, the one who passed away in January, she used to be my lap kitty. And we used to call her my healing kitty because she would sit on my lap as I was raiding. So I would healing and have the cat on my lap. She would sit on my lap for hours. I do miss having a lap kitty. That is the one thing I do miss. But I've got 2 scrappy boys and a dumb girl. So she is dumb. But
yeah.
she's
Yeah, the only thing about Reese is that whenever I'm playing WoW, she wants to be on my shoulder, and then she wants to be on the keyboard, and then she wants to be on my shoulder, and then she wants to be on the keyboard. And then she just circles around, and Pixie does that too. It's just they both don't want to. They don't want to just sit. If I'm in the recliner, just sitting down, they'll just sit and lay there.
Yeah,
I kind of wish they would do that, but yeah, she just wants to hang out.
Look at her. She's so cute.
She's over there taking a bath.
All right, chat room. We're going to head out of here. Thank you guys so much for being here with us and hanging out and being a part of it. We will be back next week. We've got another great show playing for you next week.
We do.
So exciting. And we will talk to you guys during the week. Give us your feedback. Let us know what's going on, how you like the show, all that great thing. So
Absolutely.
We'll see you next week.
Later.
Slash boo, everybody.
Slash boo.